Good evening and welcome to the stream, everybody. I am Justin D. Morgan, your host of Computerized Start, and I have a very special guest with me tonight.
The Emerson! Down here! Hi! There you go! How we all doing this evening?
Yes, so first of all, I'd like to say hi to Bruce and Thomas. I see they are in the chat and have been here for a little while, actually. And of course, hi to Joe, who I invited tonight to give an update on another one of my projects that is currently still in his basement.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Stand by, I'm just tweeting this.
Ah, yes!
So people will, come watch, because why not? So, yeah, so Justin sent us, I'm saying us as if it's me and some sort of, large cabal of, repairers or something. It's just nerdy of me.
Actually, I sent it to you and the Emerson, of course. Us.
There you go. But he sent me his Emerson 286 because apparently he either got some bad V20 chips or the V20s just don't work with the BIOS in this or something. And during the process of trying to get those on and off there several times, the pads decided to take a flying leap off this mortar coil. And so the last time I was on a live stream with him, we did the repair of that, or at least I got the V20 chip back on there, but it didn't work. So then I did off stream. I did the repair-a-doodles. I yanked that chip off there, fixed those pads up again, put it back on there, and look at that!
Yay!
Cool. So I figured tonight, while Justin is goofing around doing whatever thing with whatever Mac that he's doing tonight for his prime number anniversary stream, I would hang out in the background and see if we can install the XT IDE and stuff in this that he sent to me with it as well. Why not? We'll hang out, we'll have fun. We'll do nerd things.
All right. And I guess that's a good segue to what I have on the bench. I have the IIci. It is back on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is quite the troublemaker. But
No
I got a new tool last week that, of course, I keep tangling the cables up. All right, come on. Well, anyways, Bruce might recognize this while I knock everything off of my bench. But I got one of those cute little display monitors like Bruce has.
Well, those little itty bitties.
One of these little itty bitty monitors. It is the Best View BSY708-M. They are not a sponsor, but Adorama has had them, or possibly has them on sale for $69.99.
Oh, wow,
So
that's not bad.
I know. I picked one up and made the mistake yesterday of, while I brought it down to my workbench to get it out of where I had set it, because I set it in a really bad place. It was prone to fall off. And I decided, well, let me see if this display will do anything that my scaler and the Dell monitor that supposedly does sync on green and whatnot. Let's see if it'll do anything different. So I have come to a revelation, although it's not entirely helpful, but I will show you what I discovered.
Let's take a look. Let's do it.
Alright, so let me put the power supply back on using my probably not Gorilla Glue approved power supply prop. And let me double check that so if I set my 10 dip switch adapter to mode, I think 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. There we go. That is probably still not a very good combination for your luggage.
That's amazing!
Yeah. But if I set it to 13467 and I plug this display in and I power it up, we get a chime. And oh, the text went away. Okay, I think it'll come back again in a moment. Or I'll hit the reset button. I'll hit reset so it comes back.
There we go.
It says... Oh, okay. Maybe I'll have to power cycle it for it to show the text again.
Sorry about the squeaky noise.
It says not support. It doesn't say no signal. It says not support.
Interesting. So the next trick would be connecting that to your oscilloscope and seeing what kind of signals you're getting out of it.
That was actually the next thing I was going to do, is actually see if there was actually a video signal of some sort. Now, actually, Thomas, there's one reason why I'm not doing that. Because 13467 is the setting for the 12-inch RGB monitor, which is a resolution of 512 by 384, and I believe this monitor does not support that. Unless Bruce... I've actually tried a bunch of other switch... yesterday I tried a bunch of other switch combos that should have worked, and actually, for those, I got no signal. The only one that I... Yeah. So when I set it for 512 by 384, I get no support. If I set it for 640 by 480 VGA, I get no signal. Which is what I previously tried when I... on stream. I didn't try 512 by 384 previously because I had nothing that I have supports that resolution. And yes, I've already checked Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace to see if anyone in this area, by chance, was selling an Apple 12-inch RGB display, because I know it would be so cute to go along with my LC. Alright. So let me see if I can't, through the magic of...
Through the magic of editing...
Through the magic of editing, or otherwise known as adding another camera with StreamYard here.
Oh,
wait, I do have power on. Let's try that.
I have the power! Oh, wait. Ken! Hi, Ken!
Well, now... There's what I see on the oscilloscope on the green channel.
So you're getting full white, or full signal, with pulses.
Yeah, it looks like...
And every once in a while, you'll see like a little bit of a long pulse. So you're getting the sync signal, sync on green, that makes sense.
Yep.
So it sounds to me like the video chip is putting out video, at the very least.
Yeah.
Which, in a lot of those old computers, the video chip is somewhat asynchronous in the machine. If it gets power, it'll put out a base signal, whether or not it's got any sort of, like, thing going on upstairs.
Actually, Thomas doesn't think that's a video signal.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what does Thomas know? I'm kidding.
Oh, look at my 20... let me change the time base so we can expand on that a little more. Let me see here. Horizontal menu, scale. Oh.
He-Man. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, that's right. That's not a video signal. That's the same
Sure about
problem I
that?
had. Yeah, look, the time base is 100 microseconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that looks like clock pulses, no video signal. Thomas says sync maybe, no video for green.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Alright, it looks like my revelation from that little monitor... It looks like... Maybe it did... Maybe that's what it was seeing, was the sync pulses. Okay. But yeah, that is not a video signal. Alright.
Well, Poofy.
False hope.
It may be thinking those. Yeah, your monitor may be thinking those are sync pulses, or something. It may be interpreting that. And so there's a signal, but there's not actually one there. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I do see that Carthor, Ken, and Eric have joined. So welcome.
Hello, people.
I am having fun with this 2CI. So, all right. So I thought I had a lead on there actually being video coming out of the video chip. But it turns out that apparently, and that's the reason I wanted to stream before I got too far into it, is I saw that the monitor was telling me it saw something that it didn't support. And then that's when I decided, I'd better stream this before I magically solve the problem off stream. So, anyways, I have, as you might see up in the left corner, I have hooked up my new Fluke multimeter, and it's not new. It is
new to you, therefore it's new.
It's new to me, and it seems like it might need slightly calibrated, because I'm holding the probes together and it's reading 0.2 or 0.30. Although maybe that's just these are very cheap leads. That may actually be the lead resistance.
The actual lead resistance, yeah.
So maybe it's fine. But I also have the Bowmark schematics up on the screen. I actually did bother to download it so that I could look at them without having to do this with my head. Because that is...
But that's fun!
I know, it's fun until your neck gets a crick.
Oops.
So, I think the first thing I wanted to do...
Stuff.
...is pull up the schematic page for the... video.
So
I've
needs beer.
Yeah, I would offer this computer one if I thought it would make it work, but somehow I think that would make it work less. So, I've got two options. Now, I've got two video cards. This one was sold as a tested, but still as-is card. Go figure, because, well, the seller's justification was they're old, but they actually did picture it working in their 2CI. But I have another one that was, I don't know if it works, but I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. Although, maybe there is something wrong with it. These are actually the same model card. This one has the memory soldered on. This one has half the memory on Sims. But they're the display card 4.8. I believe this card does support 640 by 480.
So the one that's missing the extra video, you could, in theory, put sockets on it and just make it a better card?
Maybe. I'll have to do the research. The low-end Mac has some info on these cards, but the details are sparse. Because it does mention you can install Sims and make it the equivalent to the like 824. So this one may actually be 824 spec. Ah, yes. I sent that to you in case you needed to use the GoTech.
Nope. You're done. Card's installed. I have it in there with the little adapter doodle and everything.
Oh yeah, I see you did boot from it.
I can even give everybody a quick nausea cam tour.
All right, give that tour while I maybe see if I can't get an oscilloscope probe on this video card.
So here's the XT IDE card that he sent me. This version has it where the card actually goes out the back of the computer on a header that's soldered directly to the board, but it doesn't come with a bracket because making those metal brackets is a pain in the absolute patooth. So Justin sent me a 3D print file, which I printed out, and then I attached here. So now, if we look at the back, it just comes out the back, just like that. And so now he's got like super duper hard drive in the machine. And that's it. That's the tour, basically. Let's take a look.
And I've got and I've got a sound card that does ad-lib emulation. And
oh yeah, there's the ad-lib card in here and a game port card as well. It looks like. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep, a doodle. Yep. You can change to. I mean, you can't really like see it there, but it's like, hi, crotch cam. Don't look at that. But they're like over here. Yep, right here. These two right here. Yep.
So.
Uh-huh. Pretty much.
Yep.
So let's go back to here. He's got games on here.
Yeah.
But first, let's go and check it.
Ah, yes. Very good.
Let's just check it. Huh? I haven't run this in a billion years. I don't even remember how. Uh-oh, everybody knows your serial number.
That's the serial number that's on archive.org. Yeah, I think.
Tests everything. Sure.
Some of those tests will probably fail because we don't have loopback adapters, but...
That's all right. Run memory test, yes. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
All right. So, I have put one of the video cards in this Mac. And that is most certainly not... Yeah, that's definitely not a video signal.
That doesn't look like anything.
I know. I may, it is quite possible my probe is not clipped in a good place.
There.
I was going to see if there's any sign that the video card is doing anything. All right, well, let me clip the capacitor that's beside the NuBus slot and try again. You know, some of these cards are really hard to clip. I might just have to design a little PCB that's a breakout board for clipping these video connectors. Mm-hmm. Actually, there might be a board that already does that if I look. Because, yeah. Alright, I can't clip that.
Press any key to continue.
Okay.
Hard disk test. Yeah, I mean, it'll pass. It's a solid state. Escape. Skip this step. Skip this entire test, sure. Floppy. No. Escape. Skip this test. We don't test those.
Yeah, you probably should skip the floppy test.
Escape. Skip entire test. Alright. Escape. Cuckoo! Cuckoo testing!
Oh. Yeah, I'll probably have to clip the onboard video IC. I'll have to find a pinout for it. Because, yeah, that is most certainly not a Oh, I don't think it's a video signal.
Rudy's here! Welcome back, Rudy.
Yeah, that's not a video signal at all. Okay. So either I'm not clipped on this video card well, or I need to find the pin on the RAM DAC. What's the chance this is the same RAM DAC that the 2CI uses? Probably not. No, of course not. Okay. Alright, so I'm not going to be able to probe this card. Unfortunately, the problem is with this clipping this card is I'll show you as best as I can. The problem is this video connector. There appears to be, and it's probably not going to show up on camera, but there appears to be a black peg, plastic peg immediately behind the pins. And so
So you can't get on it.
So I can't get on it. I am wearing gloves because if I solder, then I don't... And because I cut my finger. So you don't want to see my finger. Sorry. But yeah, I guess I always wear them while I'm soldering. I don't have a sink down here. So I don't really want to get the sticky solder flux on everything between here and the closest sink. So that's why I always wear gloves when I solder. So... yeah, but anyways, I can't clip the video connector, so I'm gonna have to find a pinout for the RAM DAC. But I'm wondering if there's no video signal. So I've got two options for debugging this. The first one is that I just start probing the onboard video, because and just basically following the address lines. But the other thing is, I don't know that the NuBus slots... I don't know that these chips are good. And if these chips fail, especially these two, then the NuBus cards... no NuBus card will work. Because if I can get NuBus video to work, then I don't need to get the onboard video to work. So... And the fact that I've tried two NuBus cards, one of which was tested by the seller, and I don't have any reason to believe that they didn't test it, because they actually pictured the card working in their 2CI. Check the address lines at the ROMs and data. I believe the address lines at the ROM... I think the address lines at the ROMs are fine, but I guess we can start there.
Yeah, I need to start wearing gloves with lead too, or wearing gloves to solder. Everybody's saying that. Are you wearing like those vinyl or latex or what?
They're nitrile. I get them at Harbor Freight.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're because they're what are they? Well, these are them. They're decent. Actually, for a lot of gloves, these are. I have. Yeah. Oh, with the power on. Oh, Thomas wants me to probe with the oscilloscope, probably. Alright, well... I thought you were, yes, yes, it would have been, okay, let me get set up. Hi, Retro Techie, it's not fixed yet. It's like Steve's Quadra 840 AV. It doesn't want to work. Let me see if by chance, because some of these things I need to probe, I need a slightly finer point. Let me see if by chance the oscilloscope probes came with the fine tip. Let's see, that's the calibration screwdriver. Oh, here we go. This might be the piece I was looking for. Ah, okay, here we go. The Emerson's fixed, yes.
Don't mind me, I'm just in the background searching for nitrile gloves.
Okay, I'll figure out how to attach that later. Alright, let me Alright, let me get set up to start probing signals. At least for the ROMs, I can just use the probe that's on my oscilloscope. I do need a ground. Oh, wait a minute. I can use the ground on the battery connector. There we go. Oh, no. Is this the... Wait a minute. Let me see which probe I've got connected. Ah! Do I need to ground a passive... is this a passive probe? I think it's a FET probe. Do I need to actually ground a FET probe? Because when I got this probe, someone had disconnected the ground lead. Because I can't find a ground to connect to that's long enough for me to reach the... Okay. Alright, let me see if I can find the ROMs on the Beaumark schematic. Well, there's the ROM sim. Well, you know, I guess I could just start probing connections on the ROMs. Oh, cool! Joe is playing Planet X3 in CGA mode.
I don't know what modes this machine has, so I just like to pick that one.
Joe, I recommend Plantronics Color Plus mode. I think you'll enjoy it more. Just type PX3 and at the menu, select, there it is, number 6.
There you go. Yep.
There you go. Now you got a few more colors, Joe.
Colors!
Alright, so let me, I'm just going to start probing the ROM pins.
Oh, hush. There we go. Sorry. I don't know how to play this game. I'm just like driving around a tank.
Actually, something tells me I bet I do need that ground reference. Okay, let me find... Let me find the... Oh, there we go. There's the ROMs on the schematic. So the address lines... There we go. Now if I can just find the diagnostic connector. Because it probably has a ground connection on it. Let's see here. Or I think it's the factory test. There's a card edge on the front of the board. I think it was for factory test. Oh, wait, there we go. I don't need that. I see which one's the ground. Just look carefully, and it looks like the ground is right here. Oh! Oh, hi, Tom Barber. Alright. So, the machine is not on. Alright, address lines are pins.
Cool. Yay!
So, okay, these are 16 pins, so I could very easily see, that should be an address line. That does not... Oh, wait a minute. Ha ha ha! Wait a minute, is that a clock signal? Whoa, that's weird. 13, 14, 13, 14, 15, 17. There we go. All right.
What?
Auto set. I just realized. Oh, there we go.
That's
Okay.
a signal.
That's a signal. I just realized I was like putting my probe on things and like was wondering why in the world is that just like a nondescript slope? And then I realized that the time base was set to 2 nanoseconds. All right, let me change this time base. 20 milliseconds. Okay, so that is... Alright, so that is one of the data lines, I believe. 17... And that's a data line. That's a data line. Yeah, I've got the probe grounded. Let's see, that's a data line. That's, I think, a data line. That's an address. You know, I'm seeing something suspicious here.
Suspicious things are afoot.
I mean, that does look like a... Yeah, that is not data. Oh. Oh, one moment.
Oh no!
I don't know what we were looking at because I just realized one thing. I don't know what my oscilloscope was reading.
It was reading Sanskrit. Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, no, it was reading something, but it wasn't coming from the computer. Hold on, let me clip. Alright, let me clip something so I can reset and then auto set before the machine crashes. There we go. And then change our scale a little bit better. Oh, you know, I think I figured something out. So that looks good. And then...
that looks like an... Yep.
And then the machine crashes. So right there, the machine's dead. It's funny looking 0 to 5 volts. Yeah, you're right. That does look really weird for TTL. Well, it looks more like something than the video signal I supposedly had. Alright, that is address line. I think that's one of the address lines. Should be address line... oh, no. That is going to be... No, that's data bit 3 on the... No. That's the high ROM. So, no, that's data bit 27. All right, let's try another one. I've got it grounded to this point on. Oh, you can't. Table cam. I have it grounded on this point on the PCB because it's the 5th pin over, because I can see that it's going to the ground plane. So that's where I've got it grounded. It's the only ground point that I can use and actually reach. Yeah, I think the machine's crashing at some point.
Weird. Somebody's dinging me. Oh, it's Rudy. Hi, Rudy. He's in the chat and he's dinging me on the side. Here, I'll be your oscilloscope.
You know, I'm not totally, completely sold on that. It's... I mean, it's a little lower than 5 volt. It looks like the peak's a little lower than 5 volt. Okay. I don't know what that weird peaky doodle thingy is and that happens in the... Right there. In the middle of that whatnot. I don't know how to describe it. I'm a soft...
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. You have to be careful with address and data buses. They can do weird things until they're fully asserted.
Ah, okay. Well, that is a data line. Let me see if I can't find an address line, because I know the address line should be. Let's see, the address lines. A lot of the address line pins are, of course, on the side of the chip that's harder to get to. Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, there we go. 27. I can get to 27. So that's 32, 31, 30, 27. Here we go. All right. Well, I can't clip it, but... All right. So that's an address line.
Doobie, doobie, doo. Don't mind me. I'm just doing things in the background, and I'm here for moral support. Yeah, that looks. Yeah, see, that looks really solid. Yeah, data lines do weird.
You're not grounded. That's not an accurate signal.
Because until they fully come up, especially if you're accessing an actual RAM chip, it'll do these weird ramps and stuff for DRAM because they're capacitor coupled circuit thingies, and they do weird things.
For reference, if anyone's wondering, it's actually I'm the one that's doing the oscilloscope probing.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just here for moral support while I design PCBs in the background.
Yeah, this should actually be an address line right now.
Yeah. I mean that looks like a nice solid address line. Don't be too worried about that one signal being a little bit low. That can depend on what's the impedance of the line and what's actually listening to the line at that time and drawing the voltage on the line down a little bit.
Actually, let me do something here.
Like you're 2 volts per division, that's 4 volts. It's probably okay.
I'm not totally convinced this probe is... let me switch probes.
What is... He said 4.3.
That probe I think I need to run a compensation cycle on that probe.
3.6.
Which may be some of the problem. Let me...
3.7.
Alright. I mean, it does look like a it did look like a TTL signal. The high was high enough, at least from what I saw, to register as a TTL signal. Okay, I just switched probes. I think my oscilloscope should have auto-magically figured it out.
Auto-magic.
If anyone's wondering what oscilloscope I have, it's an old Tektronix scope from the 90s. It would have been,
Doobie-doobie-doo.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, maybe the other probe I was using was actually working better. Okay, this is just weird.
Weird is not allowed.
I know.
That can't be correct.
No.
13? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At that rate, it's going to be like 14, not 12. Oh, it's the entire distance. It's the spacing plus. Sorry, I'm doing math in my head.
I'm trying to figure out why the...
So basically, it's that like this. So the center to center distance. And it's center, so I need to calculate.
Oh. If I get really desperate, I'll just...
43,369. Okay.
I like these old scopes too, except when they don't cooperate. Alright, so 32, 31, 30, 29, 20, so that's pin 27. That's an address line.
369 divided by 11 is 3.94. 3.94 is the magic number. I should just ask you, Justin, to do all my math. I'm doing like all this like 3.969. That's probably correct. I'm doing all this very custom spacing of PCB pads and stuff, and I'm failing because I can't math.
And I'm trying to figure out why why the standard tech probe is not seeing anything. Yeah, I switched to try to use one of my P6139As.
Yeah, that's dead on.
Because I was getting the impression my FET probe needs a calibration cycle run on it. Or a compensation cycle. And for some reason, my 6139A probes are not seeing a thing at all. Which is weird. That's my oscilloscope just decided to...
Oh, that's about right. So is that
right.
center to center? It is not quite center to center, but it's going to be close enough for practical purposes. Yeah, it's a little off. So
Okay.
probably each one of them probably needs to be moved one bump. So we do one.
All right. All right, I guess I'll just have to stick with the FET probe. That looks like it might need a calibration cycle, but is otherwise seemingly working. All right.
Doink, doink, doink. Split group. Split group.
All right.
Split group. Joescope. Lol.
All right. Okay. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down the line of pins on the ROMs. I don't know which are which.
One.
And I'm going to look for one that doesn't look...
That's about right. It's pretty close. We will live with that. Close enough for practical purposes. So we do this, and we do build group. Cool. So first off, this one is set this to C1. C, Control V. Set to layer C2. We pop it around. Done. What PCB am I designing? Do the 3D scope again. Track. So funny. I've got people I knew very poorly in high school sending me friends requests right now on Facebook. I'm like, no. You and I are not people who know each other, so that's not going to be a thing. Let's make that.
Yep. I'm just simply walking down the pins on the ROMs looking for one that looks like obviously bad.
Ken is asking me what PCB I'm designing. I'm not really designing a PCB. I'm more like revising would be a better term. Hi, Retrotech Chris.
Let's see. Is that that's, I think, an address line. All right. So some of that craziness is probably fun.
Join tracks. Never again.
Let's see. Pin 30 on the ROMs is... All right. Pin 30 doesn't look right. Pin 30... Okay, pin 30 is probably a pin that's supposed to look like that if I can just figure out where it is on the schematic. Pin 30 is... Oh, not mentioned. Okay. Well, it's probably supposed to be low like that. Alright. The important thing was it's not an address and not a data line. Pin 31 is... And pin 32, I bet, is 5 volts. Okay, so that's right.
Y'all going to VCF East? Is that what everybody's talking about in the chat about seeing each other on Saturday? Is that the spiel?
Probably. All right, that looks like a TTL signal.
Cool.
That looks, yeah, I guess that's a TTL signal.
These are not aligned properly.
Yeah, I guess that's a TTL signal.
Normal view. Normal view. First off, this needs to be 0. 0.
Okay, that's TTL. Yep. I don't know which of these are data and which of these are address. I'm just walking down the line of pins. I'm looking for one that looks obviously not like a TTL signal. Because then I'm going to have to flip the logic board around to get the other side of the ROMs. Okay, yeah, that looks like a TTL signal. And basically, TTL is going to be your 0 to 5 volt logic signal. And if you keep hearing that sounds like I'm restarting the Mac, it's because I am. Whatever's causing this machine to not work eventually causes it to crash. Because if I hold long enough, you'll see that activity ceases. So
it is no more. It has ceased to be.
Okay, that's TTL.
Oh.
Ooh.
There we go.
28. Uh-oh. That... Okay, that's... Oh, okay, just didn't have a good contact. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's the... Okay. Alright, so those two ROMs look fine. On the one side I can see. Hi, Alex. I'm walking down the chips with the oscilloscope. I'm looking for anything that doesn't look like a TTL signal.
That one's a little weird how some of those peaks are
Yeah, that did look a little weird.
kind of like something is like it's hard to explain. Sometimes those occasional blips are okay, but other times it can indicate that the signal is being constantly pulled high, and other signals are just trying to drive it low but can't because there's too much juice being provided by a stuck chip. But in that case, you also have like standard 0-volt pulses on it. So it's yeah.
So that's data bit 12.
Yeah, so if it's a data bit, I wouldn't worry too much about it though.
Okay, yeah, that's a data bit. All right. I just had to look at the schematic and it just... I mean, I do have some sort of suspicions around the whatchamacallits, the bus transceivers.
Yeah.
I am a little suspicious because actually there's a lot of these data signals on this chip are looking different than the others. So I am going to keep in the back of my mind the bus transceiver for this ROM chip as a, because it's looking, you're right, the peaks are looking different than the first two. So is that enough evidence for me to desolder it off the board and replace it? Not yet, but...
Yeah. Another trick you could do is if you're able to see both two channels at once, you can probe something coming into the transceiver and its opposite driver and see if the signals are identical or logically identical. They won't be exactly the same. And if you see one side is showing a 1, is showing a pulse train, and the other one's just flat, you know that the transceiver's got an issue.
Yep, I may see if I can get those two probes to cooperate again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that let me see if I can't figure out which transceiver that goes to these data bits. It's data bits 8 through 15.
My board audit is complete for my client / cohort. Your Emerson is 100%, sir, and ready to return back to you.
All right, cool.
With all of the bits and pieces installed, except for the GoTech, because I don't have unless, I'm not sure if you wanted the GoTech installed or not.
I sent that to you just in case we needed it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was figuring you didn't need it, because also there's not a 5 1/4 to 3 1/2 front adapter doodle.
Yeah, that was one of the things I sent to you just in case.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it was lightweight and easy to send. But yeah, you could just put it back in the box.
Sure.
It was a just in case item.
No problem. I'm gonna walk off camera for a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to see if I can't get these two probes to cooperate.
And now the conclusion. Now I'm gonna sit here and fill blue SCSI orders. How's that sound?
That sounds awesome.
We're just gonna hang out and do other work.
I'm sure the people that ordered blue SCSIs will be happy to see them come.
Yes.
All
this
right.
one is going to Quebec.
Oh wow.
Cool. And this one's already built, so I don't have to assemble it. I just have to put it in the box. Packing slip. Print.
All right. Okay, so I've looked at the schematic. UJ8 is the bus transceiver for those bits.
No lids, no straight cut. That one was easy. That one's already built and done. I was building some for another order, and after I got 2 units completely built, then realized they wanted kits. So I was like, okay, well, there you go. I'm like, I'll sell them eventually.
All right. Yeah, I had some Blue Scuzzy fun yesterday. I got one of those ST Links and tried to use it and couldn't get it to see the device, so I reached out to Eric, and he gave me some troubleshooting steps, to which I finally figured out after I tried several blue pills and none of them couldn't connect any of them. Pulled the wires off the ST Link, all to discover that one of the pins had pushed in when I plugged in the wires.
Yeah, Eric, I think, had the exact same problem. Not Eric Helgson, Eric Rangel. Eric.
Yeah, it's like
SDGOL. Eric's Edge.
Yeah, it was a cold, and actually, when I first looked at it without a microscope, I thought I'd ripped the pad off the board, but actually, it looked like it was a cold solder joint, and I could not get it to solder back on, because I was like, I don't want to wait for Amazon, but I'm waiting for Amazon. I tried three times to tack the pin back on, and oh, well, I got some good news and some bad news here. Well, the good news is I have 2 oscilloscope probes. The bad news is the cables aren't long enough.
Oh, no!
Okay, let me change the inputs that they're going to the scope.
Every Blue Scuzzy I send out gets a custom printed set of usage instructions printed on an actual ImageWriter 2 dot matrix printer from an actual Macintosh. Unless there's, for some dumb reason, my setup isn't working, which it was for a short period of time. So I think 2 orders went out with some basically photocopied versions because I didn't have a choice.
Oh, okay. I need a new ground clip point.
Did it fall apart?
No, the ground leads on my oscilloscope probes are too short now. I fixed the problem with the leads going to the oscilloscope being too short, to find out the ground clips are too short.
Yeah, you can't measure across the board. I've done a cheat with that. Usually, as long as you, for the type of stuff that we do, as long as we have one ground point for one, it depends on the design of the scope. My scope will do this. I have my channel 1 just has a really long extended clip, so I can measure anywhere. And as long as this is clipped and grounded, it effectively grounds the whole scope. So I don't need ground for separate separate leads. I also have, just in case, Justin. Haha! No.
Yeah.
Just in case, a separate ground lead right here, super long ground lead that goes to the front ground lug on my scope. So if I'm just doing something and my leads I can ground this to the chassis of the machine or whatever. And again, for what I'm doing, standard 5-volt scoping, it's fine. Now, if you're doing like lower voltages, 3.3, some voltages, yeah, you definitely need better connected tools. But
well, I can clip the power supply housing, but I don't think I want to do that. Although that is a ground point.
That's that order. Stand by while I put this order to the side.
Well, it's a ground.
Y'all don't need to see the addresses of everybody I'm sending stuff to. Who's next?
All right. Oh, come on, oscilloscope leads. And now the real fun's going to be when I need to press the auto set button.
Orders. Who's next on my order list?
All right. So I want pin
Eric's Edge is next on my order list.
8 and
I am going to be packing your order live, sir. On screen. You get a tiny comp kit. Assembled. Sweet. You guys get to watch me assemble a tiny comp. This will be fun. I've done exactly one of these. I have to find my friggin' box for the parts for it. Stand by. Where's my tiny comp assembly line process? It's here somewhere. I believe it's up here. Itty bitty comp. They're so tiny. Is this it? Yep. Tiny comp. We need super zoom. Super zoom. Super zoom. Apologies for that. My camera, my bench cam is all wacky because it's a cheap crap camera.
All right.
Look at that. I already have one made.
Ah, okay.
Probably do this under the scope, can't we? That might be easier to see. Scope cam. Scope cam. Cool.
Oh, that's a ground lead. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. That might solve my problem. That's a little tiny ground lead.
Look at how
That's what that is. I know, it's just a little cute... Alright. Oh! There we go. Now I might be able to probe it.
Also, keep in mind your channel 2 is in 1 volt per division instead of 2.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Well, that's easy to fix.
That's in there. See? Yeah.
There we go. I think they're both set to the same time division now. I hope.
75.
Alright. I am going to probe these memory transceivers somehow.
Great difficulty and consternation. And then we need the 2.2K.
Yeah, I'm quickly learning I need to just build me a ground lead. So 18 and 2.
Machine
had already crashed, so...
Doo-doo! Somebody's... There's that. That one is in there. Somebody's dinging me. Who's dinging? Yeah. That would be... Rudy. Rudy. What do you mean by size?
Well, now there's an interesting finding. On one side of the transceiver, I see activity. On the other side, I do not.
Interesting. Did I call it or what?
You might have called it. All right, well, let me take a look at one of the other bus transceivers.
Yes. Also, keep in mind there's a possibility bus transceivers have enable signals or direction signals. So it could not necessarily be the transceiver itself. It could be that the transceiver is not properly getting enabled because something else down the chain to enable it isn't working. So,
all right.
Yeah.
The enable signal is...
Look at how itty bitty it is. It's so tiny. It's so cute.
All right. G, pin 19.
Get my vacuum machine here to suck away the fumes.
Let me pull. I gotta pull up the data sheet for the chip, because the schematic.
Where's there it is.
34F 245. Octal bidirectional transceiver with 3 state outputs. Ooh,
Jav
how
is
fancy.
here. Hey, Javier.
All right, so OETR, output enable, transmit receive. Okay, so there should be an OE pin. Which...
Eh,
on the Bowmark schematic must be the one marked G for gate, I bet. Or, well, I presume it's G for gate. All right. So that's pin 19. So pin 19 is G and pin 1 is direction.
There we go. All assembled.
So let me see if, by chance, we're seeing either one of those signals. And actually, I don't know which is which. Okay, so... because I got the two oscilloscope. Okay, so that's channel 1. Channel 1 is on the output enable. Channel 2 is on the direction.
It's so bitty. Sorry, these things are so cute. I love these little things. Now I need to make sure I solder them correctly because is the last step to hit it with a hammer? No. That was the previous stream.
Yeah.
I have to make sure TO92 PN2222. I just need to make sure that I have the right pin out for this. Pin out here.
Let's see. Output is this output?
CBE, 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 CBE.
Truth table. Output enable low. CR low. Bus B data to bus A.
Yes. That is the correct orientation. Cool.
Output enable low.
Little bits. Heat shrink.
Enable.
The heat shrink do. Hey, look! It's my toothbrush. Punch can.
Output enable low. Okay, so output enables low. Yeah, that looks normal. Okay, so maybe that... so that one looks normal. So here's the transceiver that... for the ROM chip that kind of looked suspect.
Dude, it's sus.
And that looks about the same as the first one. All right. So I'm thinking maybe the transceiver's fine.
Okay. Just a thought.
Yeah, unless Thomas Armstrong comes back and says, no, I saw something weird. Okay.
You have to admit, I'm not always the best at reading scopes, so. I mean, take the Franklin 2000 that I bought that was working, that I tried to fix and made worse. So. And so I stole Javier's. Hi, Javier. Yes, I still have your computer. Come here, heat goo.
Okay.
I probably need to do this like this so I don't burn my fingies. No burny the fingies.
Oh, actually... oh, actually, I think I just discovered something.
Ooh! Discovery is good.
It's that one of my oscilloscope probes is not working. Okay, well, this oscilloscope probe here is suspect.
Sus!
All right, let me go back to the FET probe
Oh.
for the other probe, because the FET probe is working.
Log off of this little computer at the top there that doesn't nearly down there.
Okay. So let me look at that bus transceiver again, because now because one of those two probes was not working.
Here.
So it was always low.
They are. They're so tiny. Quarter for scale.
Okay, so channel 1 is the
A alt-right conservative channel that was shown in middle schools and high schools throughout the 90s to try to indoctrinate people. Oh wait, no, that's a different thing. Sorry.
channel 1, which is in white on the, which is going to be hard to tell from the green. Okay, now that looks a little bit more like what I would have expected.
See you, Ken. Yeah, that looks better.
Because now I see that it looks like data's going both ways. Granted, I could go in the settings and change the channel colors so it's a little easier.
You can also change the offset so that they're not literally right over top of each other.
Yeah,
so you
that
can
would
see
also...
top and bottom, and
that would require me to be able to reach something that I can't reach while probing to see what I'm changing.
Rudy's asking, who is getting a tiny comp? And will they take a picture once installed? Very good question. The person getting the tiny comp is Eric's Edge, who's actually in the chat right now. Eric, Rudy wants you to take a picture of these when you got them installed. Especially if you're installing it in a machine that we don't have instructions for. There they are. Just like they're so itty bitty.
All right, so I think the bus transceivers are probably working. So I'm gonna go back to probing the ROMs.
Look, so tiny.
Wait a minute. Actually, let me see here. I mean, I've seen enough ROMs. It's chiming, so it seems like it's reading the ROMs. And the ROM signals look okay. And I checked a couple of the transceivers.
What
At least
the I'm printing out Eric's packing slip.
Let's see. After it chimes, it tries to do a memory test, I believe. I guess maybe I need to just check.
I only ordered a blue SCSI, and I better check that.
I am not exactly sure who came up with the pinout.
Okay, maybe it's not you, Eric. It's another Eric, then, that I thought it was you.
So pin 2 and pin 18.
Search orders from Eric.
I would like to thank whoever at Motorola.
Yes, Eric, I got, you, the other person who placed an order, their last name is almost the same as yours, so that's why I got confused. But that's okay.
Okay. I would like to thank whoever at Motorola came out with the pinout on this chip. And by thank, I'm sarcastically thanking them, because if I designed this chip, I would have made the input and the output for each channel directly across from each other on the chip.
Yeah. I'm seeing you probe some of those with the, I would presume with the green probe. I saw some of them come across as like kind of floating.
Actually, well, it would help if I would actually get the probe on the pad. I think.
Guilty! I've done that too!
Well, actually... Okay, now I'm pretty sure I'm on the pad this time, and that does not look right.
Yeah, see, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, that one's okay. I mean, it's not matching, but it's okay. Now, that one there, that's...
I think the machine's crashed at that. I think the machine's crashed at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the machine, yeah. they can be grumpy if you're like probing active data lines. Like, hey, impedance on the line.
If my oscilloscope probe here hadn't decided to just not work. I would clip onto one of the address lines on the ROMs so that we could see when, just as a reference of it's dead.
DED, dead. What happens when a light emitting diode no longer emits light? It emits dark and becomes a dark emitting diode. DED.
All right.
Have I done that joke already?
I think you did it on Retro Repair Roundup.
I did it last night.
Yeah. Only 2 simultaneous live channels? What? Come on, Tektronix.
So, like, why have a 4-channel freaking scope if it can only show 2 at once?
Seriously.
He's dead, Jim.
All right, well, whatever.
Who is this person? What did they order? They ordered a DB25 external, fully assembled. We can do that. Let's do that. BlueScuzzy.assemblychannel.com. Let's go to which camera? This goes back to that kid's box.
4. Oh, wait a minute. No. 2, 3, 4. 18, 17, 16. There we go.
Need the bits and pieces box.
Four and 20, 19, 18, 16.
And a dial.
That's probably fine.
Should we time you, Joe? If you want to. I don't care. I'm not in any hurry, so I don't know. Okay. Click and click.
I don't know.
Come here, Salter. You are my friend. As I use you without gloves, like a troglodyte.
There's only an easier pin to get to on the one side. Let me see something here. Let's see here. Let me see what parts spare parts I even ordered. SN74F245. Okay, so I do actually have those transceiver parts. Should I find one that's bad?
That's good.
I just thought I would check to see. Yes, I ordered 244s, 245s, and 240s.
Old 245s. Pop a nickel in and it all comes back. Oh, wait, sorry, that's the wrong thing. solder in that through hole.
I'm just double checking that if I even did I order the right parts. Yeah, it looks like I did. Okay. Because part of me is wondering, well, if I just replace all the bus transceivers, will that fix it? But that might be...
Joe, while you have a blue SCSI handy, can you put 2 of them on a single SCSI controller and probe what happens to the signal lines? Maybe?
Alright.
That'd be a weird setup for me physically in the shop space. It would take me a fairly significant amount of time to set that up, just to be honest. Or I could lie to you and just say, I don't wanna! But no, seriously, it would take a little while. I'd have to figure out some sort of, like, probe jig. I also only have a 4-channel scope. I don't have a logic analyzer that would work for that particular setup, so it'd be a little difficult to do that.
Well, I thought I had a 4-channel scope, but it apparently only lets you put 2 channels on the screen at once.
That's so stupid. It's like, thank you for buying our expensive piece of equipment, but enter your license key now.
Yeah, I bet the 4-scope, the actual 4-channel option was the next one up.
Hey, yeah, Rudy, I was incorrect that the tiny comps aren't for Eric. They're for a completely different Eric with an almost identical last name.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, he's on the stream. And he's like, what are you talking about, you weird person?
If anyone's wondering, I'm just checking a couple pins on each bus transceiver because it's so hard to get to these pins.
Do it. This is the funky part. There we go, and it's in now.
Actually,
Tack a corner.
oh.
Align these up. Tack another corner.
Okay.
It's crashing, at least.
I'm making.
Or are you hitting interrupt?
I'm hitting interrupt. I'm watching the trace on the scope, and I'm trying to figure out at what point the machine's crashing by hitting interrupt. Okay, so it's not quite dead there. Because I discovered at some point that when it actually truly stops, it is crashing at some point. Okay, and at that point, though, it's crashed. Okay.
Okay,
That was just for my... That was for my reference. I was...
Hi, I'm Joe, and I did it wrong.
Because I figure once it stops responding to the interrupt switch, it's crashed and signals are unreliable.
Yeah.
The thing is, the transceiver appear to be mimicking the signals coming in or going out.
Okay, so it's probably not
channel. Except that channel, but let me make sure I got the pins on right. Oh, okay, that one's fine. Oops, I'm on pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on pin 7. Pin 7 is 5. So B5 is 10, 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. Alright, so that one's fine.
There we go. Those are soldered in place. And then the big chonker. The big chonker that you guys can't see. My video is as small as a tiny comp. You know it, buddy. It's not the size, it's what you do with it that counts.
If anyone wants a little soldering action while I... There you go.
Next. Are the
I
330s and 220s.
I'm not sure it's the bus transceivers. I mean, I guess I could sit here and check every last one of them, but they all do seem to be doing the right thing. So I guess if I strike out on something else, I'll come back to the bus transceivers.
Yeah, I think you've established that they're transceiving, so...
I haven't checked all the transceiver pins, but I checked enough to kind of see that, yeah, they seem to be working. So let's move on to...
where is my doodle? I have a doodle thing that I use for doing pin pushing, and I can't find it. Where did it go? It's fine, I'll get a new one. Here it is.
All right. So, does anyone have an idea? So, if the ROMs seem to be ROMing and the transceivers seem to be transceiving, what would be the first thing that it's going to try? Does it do a memory test first?
That's a good question.
Or does it try to initialize something before it does a RAM test? Like, does it initialize video and then do the RAM test? So that you can see the SADMAC if it crashes?
I think it initializes video first, yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, that was... Garth says RAM check right after boot beep.
Okay.
But I was kind of wondering if it would initialize video, though, right before that. So that it could show the SADMAC. Because once it fails the memory check, it crashes. RAM check is before any video.
Yes, I'm not an expert on those kinds of specifics about the Mac boot process.
All right, so I don't know how long a RAM check would take on 8 megabytes of memory, but seemingly this machine is crashing before. If it does do a RAM check, I would think that it's not running long enough to do one. Although, if someone can clarify, does RAM check mean it's actually going to check all the bits in the memory? Or is RAM check mean it just going to check some of the bits? Or
is it like an SE30 where if you put 128 megs of RAM in it, it's going to take 25 minutes to check the RAM? Or
yeah. Of course, that tells me that it's checking all of... Of course, 25 minutes to check 128 megabytes. So that tells me it's checking all the bits, but...
I'm exaggerating. It's more like a couple minutes, but...
Well, still, that could give you...
Yeah.
Okay. So... Alright, so I'm doing a RAM check next. No, it's not playing the crash sound after the boot beep, unless I press the interrupt button. But I'm seeing on the oscilloscope signs that the machine is crashing somewhere between 5 to 10 seconds after the chime. I'm looking at the schematic here. See if there's anything I can oscilloscope probe with it powered on that I actually have. Because there is the MDU chip here, this VLSI chip, which looks like it is. Well, actually, that's interesting. It's not. Doesn't look like it's connected the way I thought it was. Alright, so it does have. Hold on, I'm trying to. It's broken up onto multiple pages on the schematic, so I'm trying to find the. See, that's the MPU. No, that's not what I'm looking for. VGT 8002 dash VGT 8. Part of UE9? Nope, that's.
Stop coming out. Stop doing that. Stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk to the pins here. They're doing stupid things.
Oh, that's why. Okay, the schematic's kind of weird. What does it do when booting with no RAM in the slots? It plays death chimes.
Do-do-do-do.
Which could mean that I have. I mean, it is possible that. Oh, alright, well, we'll see you later, Rudy.
Hi, Rudy.
Says me 3 minutes later because I'm paying more attention to the computer than the chat. Which I do apologize.
Yeah, people are overrated. I'm kidding.
How much I want to get this computer repaired. But with RAM in slots, no death chime. That is correct. So I just pulled the second bank out. It's probably hard to hear, but it chimed and then nothing. I mean, I thought if the RAM was bad, then you'd get a death chime, but is there ever a case, does anyone know if there's a case where bad RAM will cause the machine to crash?
The only time I could see that is if it if the RAM is bad in a specific way where it's trying to assert itself while the ROM is also trying to do something. So that you get basically memory bus contention and the system's just like bleh!
Yeah, so
that's not
okay.
Normal failure mode for RAM.
So I just pulled the other sims and so with no memory, it does death chime. And my little itty-bitty monitor seemingly thought there was a video signal. Although... Okay. I am curious. So, I didn't see a video signal.
Ambush! Oh wait, now I get it.
Okay. Now, I am going to put my oscilloscope clip on the video signal again with no memory in to see if, by chance, although granted with no memory, I don't know how in the world the onboard video would even be able to do anything, but...
It would at very least be able to send sync signals and garbage, because it would still be trying to fetch. You have to think of in most of the computers of that era, well, even today, the video controller is its own separate computer that just happens to be attached to the same memory bus.
Yeah.
So typically, it'll just free run independently underneath the machine. But like, for example, like in an Apple II, extreme example, an Apple II, you take the CPU out, you'll still get a perfectly clear video signal because the video generator is just running in the background. So, yeah. The Macs aren't much different in that regard.
Okay, Garth Beagle says, yes, bad RAM or RAM connections will definitely cause the crash beep. Oh, but I'm not getting a crash beep unless I pull all the RAM out. If I put any RAM in this machine, at least of the RAM I have that's compatible, without resorting to actually...
Put incompatible RAM in it. What could go wrong? I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Well, it just dawned on me that I do have some memory that is probably compatible, but I would have to go upstairs and steal it from 2 other machines. But, well, what can they do? It's not like they can stop me.
Wouldn't hurt to try, I don't think. I can entertain people for a minute while you go up and grab it.
Alright, yeah, let me go pull the memory out of my LCs, and... because I've got... I was thinking that... because this machine needs 4... No, it means the crash is unrelated to the RAM. Okay, so Garth... Okay. So Garth says that the crash is unrelated to the RAM. So let's see. Garth says, when I've had bad traces to RAM, it'll chime, then crash beep, no video at all. On a good system, depending on how much RAM, it'll pause, sometimes long before video inits. Oh, okay. Crash is unrelated to the RAM.
Okay.
Does anyone know what a good working 2CI does when one tries to boot with no RAM? That is actually a good question.
It tries to boot. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Well, okay. I've got these. Well, actually, I'm going to take Joe up on his offer to entertain you all. I'm going to go get those other 4 sims, so at least I have all my 30-pin sims. VHS is asking blank screen. I'm going to have to go with yes. Because I have not been able to see a video image on anything. And I've confirmed by using the oscilloscope that there is no video image being produced. The most I've seen is some sort of a clock signal. Could be sync pulses, but it's not a video signal. So let me go up and grab my, I'm going to go grab the other memory I have that'll work in this machine. So I'll let Joe entertain you with some quality blue SCSI assembly. In fact, I will actually make Joe full screen!
Yay! It's my stream now. Seriously, just getting this blue SCSI, I just finished getting it all soldered together. This is the 25-pin version. I just cleaned the back of it to get all the goop off the back side there. And now we get to test it in the machine. Hi, VHS! Face cam, because we get to turn, we could turn this way. And you get to watch me test it. Hey, look, you can see me. Me. Anyway, so yeah, let's test this and see if I built it correctly. All right. Drum roll, please. I probably built it correctly. I usually do. Show the blinking lights. Is that blank? Ha ha! The pins are on the wrong side. Stand by. Apparently, I left the pins on the wrong sides when I programmed this. Or it's blank. There we go. That's better. Cool. Looking at people's chats here, just to talk to people while we're sitting here. We've got, hi, Garth. There you are. It is me. So, hey, I can check out what a working 2CI does when booting with no RAM if installed. We will mention that to him when he gets back. Oh, they clicked the button. You traded some Pokemon games for a Sega Genesis. That's an interesting... How would you value that trade? I guess that's a very personal thing. It's like if you wanted the Genesis more than the Pokemon games. And the Blue SCSI test drive shows up. So this Blue SCSI is working. Yay! Cool.
Yes, and I have the 16 megabytes of RAM.
Sweet!
I bought a matched set of 16 megabytes of RAM because it was just as cheap to do that, or cheaper than anything else. And I split it among my two LCs. So now, and I know this RAM works because I've powered both LCs up. So hopefully, and basically, and you know, I'm going to do one more thing here because I'm just such a nice guy to this LC, or 2CI. After first making sure that I did turn it off, yes I did, I am going to apply more deoxit.
Stand by, I'm just messing with my camera settings to make the bench cam easier for people to see.
Alright, and I just put deoxit in the memory sockets. Because, why not?
Sort of better. Okay. So now we get to put this thing here. You said you deoxidated the sockets, right?
I think I'd already done that, but I just decided to do it again for good measure. Okay. So, 16 megabytes of RAM. Yes, VHS, I would definitely like 16 more megabytes of RAM. Reach out to me on Discord. Or some other social means. Alright. So, I have... let me put the oscilloscope back on the screen. And let me see if I can sort out these 3 oscilloscope probes. The one probe.
All done!
There we go. Let's see here. So
I'm not sure which one of our Blue SCSI resellers designed this case for the 25 pin. It might have been K. It might have been Androda. I think it was K. But whoever did it did a freaking excellent design on it. It's just the absolute coolest thing for these 25 pins. Super in love with them.
all right.
So this goes over here.
So that is an address, or I think that's an address line. Oh wow, that is actually. Whoa!
Is it working?
Not entirely, but no. There's something even better. Did you hear the death chimes?
Yeah.
That was not me pressing the interrupt button.
So it's death chiming with RAM in it now.
So finally, I found some RAM that it will death chime with in. So that means we just hit a point where it actually, and it actually looks like the system's still alive, somewhat.
Interesting.
Because
So
that's an
apparently
address.
you can maybe test video and see video's working. Is that what you're saying?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a video signal yet. So I'm plugging in the oscilloscope to the green signal because.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait.
Wait a minute.
Sorry, I'm looking at this Blue Scuzzy order I have. It is to Australia. Bruce is in Australia and sells these. Bruce! You in the chat? Somebody bought a Blue Scuzzy for me instead of from you for some silly reason? It's Australia.
That's
Is Bruce out of stock, maybe? Is that what it is?
Oh, hold on.
BlueScuzzy.com, current stock levels. Bruce doesn't. Yeah. Bruce has 0. That's probably why. I technically my site says 0 at the moment, but I don't have 0. I've got about 70. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'll ship it, but whatevs. Ship it.
I don't think that's a video signal.
Which one? The top one, the bottom one?
Top one's video. Bottom one's an address line.
Yeah. The top one, are you able to set it to set it with trigger points, with the trigger value, so it locks onto a repeating pattern, so you can do some measurements and see what that repeat?
Oh, I can.
Just curious. I'm just see, maybe if you can get to the lock, you might be able to see a good pattern. Yeah, that's like that. Yeah, that's a real. Yeah, no. I mean, every once in a while, you'll see a line come across that's lower for several. It'll kind of like, which is like indicative of me of the VSync, but.
Well, Eric, I totally agree with you. The best way to tell if it's a video signal is to plug in a monitor. So far, I have yet to be able to find something that... Well, I guess now that it looks like maybe this is getting a little further in the boot process. Let me see. I had a monitor plugged in, but it was set at 512 by 384, which the monitor doesn't support. So I just set it to VGA. Which the monitor does support. And the monitor turned off on me. Okay. So the monitor is telling me there is no signal. Which
Lies. I'm kidding.
Well, I would agree. It
Wait,
there is no video signal. And there the machine just crashed. Okay, that was a weird, because I know that one time it actually death chimed, and it was not, I don't think I accidentally hit the interrupt button.
You know what the real solution is here, Justin? Is to just send it to me, and I will get to it.
That is one solution.
That's a joke. That was a joke. I was going to just give it to me. That was the joke.
Oh.
Poorly executed joke, I must admit.
Yes, that would be a solution.
You wouldn't have any problems with it anymore.
You're right. I would not have any problems.
Someone else's problem.
Well, Joe, if a random box shows up at your door, it's probably not going to be this.
I do have somebody who emailed me asking if I could fix like a 2SI or something like that. I'm like, well, I don't have a chassis or any of the setup to actually test it, so you'd have to send me the whole machine because I need the power supply for it. But yeah.
Okay,
No,
Garth,
seriously, no, keep it.
I am using the same display that Bruce uses, and I believe Bruce says this works with sync on green.
Yeah.
So it is not seeing a video signal, and the top line on the oscilloscope is one of the colors of the video signal. So that is not a video signal.
No, it's solid, new and nothing. Yeah.
Now, what I could do to show you an example of what a video signal looks like, no, I can't do it because I was about to say, well, I can unplug my oscilloscope and hook the leads to the video cable and show you what a real one looks like, but then I realized, but then you can't see it because I've unplugged the cable. Although I could capture it and then trigger it and it would freeze on the screen. That might not be a bad idea.
Now, my final pending order is Ethernet adapters.
I mean, it is quite possible that the problem is that none of this RAM... Well, now the weird thing is, these 8 SIMs were in the 2CI when I bought it. Theoretically, that means these were compatible with it and were possibly the SIMs that were in it when it was used. However, when you buy things on eBay, theories can be thrown right out the window. These could be 8 SIMs that the seller put in it because they thought that the Mac wouldn't sell if it didn't have any RAM.
True.
I mean that is totally possible. But I have reason to believe those were in it. Now, could those 8 SIMs be bad because of age, improper storage, etc.? Yes, they could. I have no way of testing them because they're non-parity SIMs, and the only computer I have right now that takes 30-pin SIMs requires parity memory, so I can't test those.
I will be sending you some 30-pin SIMs when I send you your computer back.
Yes. So Joe's going to send me some more memory. So, and I think VHS is checking to see if he's got some 4 megabyte SIMs. Okay, now these are 256 megabyte SIMs.
256 megabytes? Kilobits?
256 kilobytes. You're right. I wish they were 256 megabyte 30 pin.
That's on Rockin' Mac too.
I know. These I bought off an eBay seller. They test their memory before they sell them. They don't work in this Mac, or at least, well, let's check. But these 4 megabyte SIMs work in my 2CI, and I thought, and they're 60. I think they're 60 nanosecond. I thought the 2CI was fine with faster memory. In fact, it seems like online they recommend faster memory because of the video. But, so these are, okay. I'll go put these back in my LC. Maybe the 2CI doesn't like them. Okay. So,
I just lost a capacitor randomly. It literally disappeared into my bench.
Well, that's not good.
I mean, it costs like 1/10 of a cent a piece in bulk, so it's not a big deal, but it just bothers me.
You didn't have one of those spatial anomalies that, like in that Star Trek episode where everything just started like falling off tables and going through decks and whatnot. So it's not like in your workbench, is it?
No, probably not.
Okay, that's good.
No, I'm not Crewman Ramirez.
Yeah, well, that's also good. Okay, so...
Thank you for the Bluetech suggestion from a few days ago for holding the PCB website. I know, right? It just kind of holds it in place. And you're not chasing it around the bench. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so this is the 256K SIMs that I bought on eBay, and there's no video signal. And the machine dies fairly quickly. I know, it would be... I'm wondering if the problem with the video is if this machine is dying too quickly for video to initialize. Although, but to your point, Joe, you said the video system is independent and...
Well, generally speaking.
Generally speaking.
It should, I mean, usually, this is what I've seen on any of the, quote, newer color Macs that have an independent graphics system. Or, you know, like a dedicated chip for graphics because they have color, so they need a little more horsepower to actually generate color graphics. Is that chip will continue to generate video underneath the machine. It will just sit there and spin. And so you'll get like a plain gray screen, for example, but nothing else will happen. So yeah.
All right. So I'm going to... All right. I wish I could connect an oscilloscope to this card so I could even see if we're getting anything that looks like a video signal. Although maybe...
Ooh, I forgot half the
Because if I could get one of these NuBus cards to give me a video signal, then at least it'd be a clue.
Yeah.
All right.
Boards everywhere. The silica gel keeps tempting me. It says do not eat, but I don't follow rules. It's crunchy. Two of those. I need cable bits.
30-pin SIM RAM memory is suitable for Plus SE.
Okay. 8 inches, 6. Inches, 6, approximately. How accurate was that guess? Let's find out.
All right. Actually, it just dawned on me. I think I can probe the pin I want to probe. I just have to do it from the back side of the PCB. I don't think there's a video signal coming out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, of course, pin 5 would have to be the one they bent over at the factory to solder on the video connector. Okay, I'm gonna pick a different signal. It doesn't matter. I was using green because I remembered that green was pin 5. Okay, red is pin 2. It doesn't really matter which one I pick. I just want one of the colors. Oh. And the pins are too short to clip. Fun.
Instructions. Two sets of instructions.
Let's see here.
Collateral instructions.
Okay. Maybe another question for the chat. Maybe someone out there is smart on NuBus cards. If these chips on the, I guess the ALS 240s and the 74F244, I think they have to do with NuBus card IDs. If they're defective, I guess you wouldn't see a video signal? Because I guess the Mac's not going to tell the NuBus card anything. Yeah,
that sounds like a good guess to me.
Because I was just thinking, well, if I can't get a because the thing is, if I could get any video signal, oh, well, that's oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just got an unhandled exception on my Windows PC, but whatever. I just clicked continue. The stream is still going. We're good.
This order is going to Ron McAdams of Ron's Computer Videos.
Oh, that Ron guy. Well, did he put stickers on the Blue SCSI order before he left your lab?
Surprisingly, I am willing to bet he stuck one here somewhere that I just haven't found yet. If he put it somewhere, it's hidden. It's like back on the back of like the iMac or something weird.
Because I think he's already admitted that there's some stickers Steve hasn't found yet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you can better believe there's some you haven't found yet.
Yeah.
In fact, somehow
being at Steve's for more than a day, he was only here for about 30 minutes.
Okay, so there's maybe one, maybe two somewhere. Yeah, there's probably a bunch at Steve's. In fact, somehow I'm expecting to find a Ron's computer video sticker in my house just because I was a guest on Retro Repair Roundup.
Like somehow it transported. It's like
I'll turn the keyboard over on my computer. I'm like, Ron, how'd you do that? Okay, so I am thinking that I am going to do something wild and crazy, maybe.
Two wild and crazy guys. See ya, Eric.
Although, I don't know. I really don't know if there's... Okay, before I do that, I was thinking of just maybe replacing the other two chips, or replacing these NuBus chips that commonly go bad, and if they go bad, you will not get any NuBus activity. But let me see if I can find a pin out of the chips and...
New bus, old bus.
Because it's quite possibly this machine's crashing before I'd even get a NuBus video signal. Sorry, Joe. I can be completely resistant to jokes.
Let me see if I can
that was
show
pretty
this
good, though.
properly. So, this is Ron's little joke on the address. Here, I'll change cameras. I have to change it to like the face cam.
And then I made you big so we can all see the joke. Industrials.
Like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but all right. Sure. That's Ron. He is a laugh riot. He is one of my best friends. Love the guy to death.
Oh.
Justin, are you going to be at K-Fest this year?
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
Oh, no. Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this year.
It's all right.
Let me see if I can fix that VHS real quick. Oh, there's probably some setting I got to change in YouTube. Hold on.
All my orders are done. My order backup is done. Which means I now get to put 20 more Blue SCSIs on my website and get backed up again. Actually, I have to inventory my parts. I'm running low on a couple things.
Layout, branding, picture, banner image, video, basic info.
Printing those.
Oh, here we go.
More than enough of those. That's plenty. Inventory time. Plenty of those. There's plenty of screws. Plenty of those. Plenty of those. Plenty of. Plenty.
Hey, VHS, look again. I believe I fixed the problem.
These are short.
So. Let's see here.
Did a whole bunch and you refill it.
Okay, back to the schematic, trying to find the part. So you can find the page that has the new chip on it. I think, let's see here. Here we go. UH1, UH2, and UH3. Ah, there we go. All right, so those chips are...
Stock levels are okay. Cool. Stock levels on that are good. This we put together later. Awesome sauce. Back to this. I will create the shipping later labels later because doing that on stream is incredibly boring or something. I think. Maybe. I don't know.
I think unless you use the image writer to create the image, the address labels, then yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And even then, there's the chance that you'll accidentally show more than you really wanted to, so that might not be the best of ideas.
Tom Barber. Joe, build some blue scuzzies to fulfill my orders, please. No. Tom, I don't know if you missed it earlier. I got an order from Australia. Bruce is in Australia. I have stock at that per one particular time? Maybe? I don't know. It's like, all right, I'll send it, but whatevs. It's just luck.
Well, I guess if you really need a blue...
I buy crap in like massive bulk, so...
I guess if you really need a blue scuzzy... Yep, I'm just going to first try to figure out where did I put my hot air... Oh, hot air
what
station.
was I doing? Oh, yeah, I'm ordering more solder. I am low on solder.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So I need to...
I am...
own solder. Which is... 24-6337-0010. You look at this solder and you're like, it's $41. I'm like, yeah, but it lasts like 2 years. So it's like, whatever. It's good Kester solder.
All right, so what?
The Europe seller got an order from Connecticut. Yeah. Just, it's like, maybe we should yell at Eric and tell him to put like our locations on the sales page too, so people know who to prefer.
Well, I thought the sales page did show or at least it showed the flags of the countries that you all are in.
Oh yeah, it does, but...
Oh yeah.
But then the other thing is like, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't really even show the country. It kind of like just shows where they sell to. And I'm one of those weirdos that can sell worldwide, just because I use the United States Postal Service, and for some reason they can magically get stuff anywhere in the world except like North Korea and Myanmar, and sometimes Iran. So, like, people I think just randomly order. Like, I ship stuff. I send stuff to Brazil, South Africa, lots of places in Europe, France, lots in Canada. Just how it is. But that's the other side. You know, like, we have all these U.S. sellers. We got Eric and me and Tom and Androda can all sell to the United States. But then you've got this one person who's like, yeah, I'm going to go to this other place. So. Do I figure out the pricing per country? Yes, Tom. My site uses a universal shipping plugin that calculates the price dynamically based on what's in the cart. So it prices it based on the box packing method plus weight. And I have boxes and stuff pre-programmed in there. So I can usually get stuff to people, like say in the United States, about for like $4 or $5. Overseas is about $14. It's cheaper than just about any other solution. I, in theory, can't even my shipping system picks cheapest option first to show to people, but I've had people be able to select DHL to get stuff to like Hong Kong. So it just does the thing. Off-topic question: does that Coco 2 game Bust Out require a joystick or a mouse? Good question, VHS. I sent you the instructions with the box. I didn't read them. I just printed them out, so I don't know what it requires. It wouldn't surprise me if it requires a joystick, but I believe the Coco joystick uses the generic Atari standard, maybe. So it's not a huge deal. The countries are listed on the page already. Well, you know, yeah. Ooh, question. Which flux are you using? Are you using the ATM? Or the ADM? Or the V2?
I'm using the VS213 ATF.
Okay.
Because it was the only one that their website said was universal at one point, although that might be because of various reasons that confused me on Bruce's video.
Yeah. The problem with Bruce's video is not that the video is confusing, is that the situation is a freaking cluster quack.
Yeah.
Cluster cluck. So, yeah. VHS asks, when is K-Fest, Kansas Fest? Kansas Fest is at the end of July every single year at Rockhurst University in Kansas City, Missouri. You can go to kansasfest.org to see the date and sign up if you want. And why is it asking, why does it want me to log in to the web? Okay. Apparently, like, for some reason, my browser somehow detected that Kansas Fest was using a WordPress site and like took me to the admin login.
Weird.
I'm not an admin on that site. Kansas Fest is July 19th through the 24th, 2022. If you look at the really the background picture on the front page, and you look very carefully, you'll see me in the picture like this. Because that was the last time we were all together in one place in 2019, so that was our last group photo. I am directly, well, it depends on the way the page size is on your browser, I guess, but I'm kind of below the word fest in Kansas Fest. If you stare real quick, there are lots of people in there. You've got Paul Hagstrom is in that photo. You've got Stavros Karatsaridis is there, and Herb Fung is in there, and Ken Gagne, and Brian Weiser, and like lots, and Javier is there on the right-hand side, and yeah. We all go there and do the thing. I did get a Coco 2 dressed up with the carts that I asked you to test for me. The bad part is that the handle's bent flat against the plastic body, and it's just as cruddy as the carts were. I'm sorry. Am I going to VCF Midwest? Probably not. It's become a Joe question and answer stream. Guest starring Justin on his own channel.
Yeah, it's hard for me to remove chips. Probably,
and talk at the same time. Yeah, I get it.
Quite possibly needlessly. Yeah, I'm staring at the board to make sure I don't start frying and baking things that I don't want to be pointing hot air at.
I get it.
So thanks for filling in the dead air, Joe.
No problem. Make sure you check those traces underneath, traces and pads after you take those apart.
Yep. Oh, that looks lovely.
Adam McGee. Adam, are you going to be at Kansas Fest this year, sir? Since we're talking about that.
right. Now that I got those chips off, possibly needlessly, I can't guarantee that those were bad, but I do know that those commonly go bad, so I just decided I was just going to remove them instead of try to decipher the schematic.
What else can I work on tonight?
Of course, the thing is, I had actually already replaced this one here with one I got from UT Source. So that's kind of the other reason I decided to just go ahead and remove all three of them.
Speak up. Don't want to show that. Speaking of UT Source. Where is my knife? Hello, knife. Yes. We have in here a box of RAM, I think. I think that's what's in this.
Yes, you can always count on your helpful phone's assistant to not do what you want to do when you really wanted to do something without placing your flux-covered grubby hands all over the screen.
It's overrated. Let's open this RAM I got from UT Source, shall we?
Ah, RAM.
Bulk RAM.
Well, hopefully it's good RAM, and you won't have to. It won't have to go into a dead RAM box that you don't have.
I hope so too. This is very special RAM for a very special project. This is 256 kilobit or 256 address by 4-bit. So it's 4-bit RAM instead of 1-bit RAM. And this is used for this project over here. Right here. It's used for those. What this allowed me to do is take a board that is normally that big, but make it that big instead. Much, much smaller, which means it's also less expensive. Cool beans. Now I just have to wait for the rest of the parts to show up.
All right. That looks... Oh.
This garbage on the floor. Socially distant garbage on the floor. Do.
Well, all right. The microscope is getting in my way. I guess I'll just have to go back to non-microscope view.
Yep, exactly, Adam. 4-bit RAM. Except 256 instead of 64. 2 banks of it. Recycling.
Alright, so I guess at least at first glance the board under these chips looks fine. I had already replaced one of these. And I just got plastic all over my soldering iron. Lovely. Okay.
Plastic on the soldering iron?
Yeah, I touched the...
I haven't done that like 1,000 times today. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We all do that. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
All right, so
I was
looking at the board, I guess let me take a little isopropyl alcohol
This is
so I can
pack
actually
2. It's 80.
see.
2. Ooh, that's a
I'll use
better.
the.
Unless this happens to be some sort of special thing. That. Nope.
All right, so looking at the pads under these chips, so I had already replaced UH1 with a chip I got from UT Source, because when I got this 2CI, this chip was crusty green. But since I bought chips from Mauser, I decided I was just going to go ahead and replace it as well. I think everything looks fine under. This is the one that's most susceptible to this capacitor, which is why it's crusty green.
You can go ahead and put your screen like bigger.
Oh yeah, that would probably help people see, because I'm fighting the microscope. So let's just go.
That's me.
That's you, yes. Okay. Joe's going to make funny faces while I try to figure out how to get StreamYard to do what I want it to do. Alright, group layout. Put that there. Now go full screen. There we go.
Good go.
So Joe will hang out in the back.
Yeah, now I can make all the faces I want. Nobody can see me.
Alright, so we've got these 3 chips, and actually I guess since I'm not trying to desolder, I'll pull the microscope out and fight with it for your benefit. That is the most generous offer I can make. Alright. So, looking at these... Well, bit overexposed. But, alright, so that all looks fine there. If you can actually see, because this is really...
Whee! It's going all over the place.
I know. Well, it's because I've got the thing sitting on the NuBus slot. Alright, so I could... Whoop. Alright. Well...
That corner pad, does it have a good connection to that via?
This one here?
Yeah.
I'll double check it.
Okay, yeah. It was just out of focus. I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, it looks like it was just out of focus. It all looks like it's got a good connection. I guess I'll double check it. Just to be sure.
Doesn't hurt.
Alright, so that looks fine. Oh, that was that side of the chip. I'll just double check the vias all here. Since I've got the chips off the board. And then here's this chip that I'd already replaced once. And... Alright, so that all looks fine.
Good.
But I'm just going to double check these vias real quick that were under the chips. Just to make sure. Oh, now I'll actually finally get a chance to try the thing I set up. So if you would observe in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you will see that you will be able to see what I'm seeing on the multimeter.
Ooh, cool.
All right, so there's a connection. And yep, there's a connection there. Let's see, now that via's not connected. Alright, so let's see, there's the via. Yep.
What will we do with all this professionalism?
You could at least click that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. And maybe next stream I'll actually have charged Rode wireless mics, and so when I'm leaning down, you'll be able to better hear me. All right, that's got a connection. Yep, there's a connection there. So if you happen to see Fixed Until Broken's last video where he bought a Fluke 45, well, interestingly enough, that's the meter I had bought a couple weeks before and just had I was in the process of trying to figure out what I needed to integrate it when, lo and behold, Fixed Until Broken did a video. So I'm actually using the same program he's using, and I just hastily set it up for the stream. And yeah, I know the resistance seems a little high, but oh. Okay, I don't think that V is... Okay, I do need to check. There's a VIA or two that I need to double check. Okay. I can't see where they're supposed to go. And let me see here. So is that...
Okay. Just cleaning up stuff here to get this ready to send back to you, sir.
All right.
Woohoo!
Actually, if what you'll do is let me know how heavy the box is, I will send you...
Return.
I'll send you a return label.
Okie doke. 1 million pounds. Just send me cash.
I'll send you a UPS return label.
Yep, it's all good.
If you have a box where you can fit that keyboard in with it, that would be great. If not,
yeah, I'm sure I can figure something out for you. I'll try to get it all in one box, just so I don't have to.
Yeah, I was unable to find a single box to hold everything, and which gave me the opportunity to send you some things that I was going to send you anyways at some point.
Well, that's the thing. I can just take the stuff out of that bigger box and put all this in that box, and then we're good.
So, yeah. So, yeah. The only thing in that other box that I need back is my keyboard for that computer. Because all the MSX stuff was for you.
Yeah. You said keyboard what?
There was a keyboard for that computer.
Oh, yeah, I have it right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the second box, and that's the only thing from the second box that comes back to me. Because that's the only keyboard I know that works with that computer. Because the thing is, I don't know if that computer uses an AT keyboard or an XT keyboard. Or if that keyboard is a XT keyboard or if it's an auto-scanning keyboard. Well, actually, the mystery would be, is that keyboard auto-scanning, or does that computer use an AT keyboard? Because it's so late, it might actually use an AT keyboard, even though it's an XT class computer.
Yeah.
Because I think it went on sale in like 1990. It was like, for an 8088, it was way late in the product cycle. So it wouldn't surprise me if they made it use an AT keyboard just because of how late it was. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally possible.
So everything looks good under these chips.
Good.
The VIAs have a connection. It doesn't look like anything corroded under them. I mean, I don't know that the chips were bad, but the one was green crusty and commonly, at least from what I've seen on tinkerdifferent.com, so I think there's one thread post that these chips commonly fail, and NuBus will not work if they're dead. So it is quite possible that I just pulled off good chips off the board, but it's a gamble. All right, I will check my email when I get to it. All right, so these are the 240. Oh, those are the memory bus transceivers.
First Class International. Sorry, I'm just mumbling to myself. Apologies.
Oh, yes. I had fun with international shipping last week. It was one of those, the postmistress that works at my local post office, she's really nice. And she was double check, because I bring this international package and she puts it on the scale and she's like, "Are you sure you want to send this, honey?" Yes, I'm sure. I was like, I think I already know how much you're going to tell me, because I've already weighed this and looked it up. She's like, "Yeah, it's $47." I'm like, "Yeah."
Lots of money dollars, yes.
I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. Yes, I do really want to send it." So, yeah, my apologies to Retro Techie, because it took me that long to get his prize out to him, because I had to actually take it to the post office.
Apologies if I'm suddenly louder. I just put my mic on because I'm walking around the shop. So.
Oh. What?
Huh?
Yeah. No, you're good, Joe.
I.
Although the real test is if anyone in the chat says we're now deaf, but but there's always that one person that says it, so it'd have to be a couple people to say it before I actually believe it. Now cue the peanut gallery showing themselves in the chat.
Boink. 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 Prepare for mass shipping label printing.
Yay.
Oh, I'm at the side now. Hi, everybody.
Oh yeah. You've got to behave yourself again, Joe.
What? What are you talking about?
Or maybe I should rephrase that. Okay, now you've got to act like people can see you, which is, yeah. I mean,
I can behave myself. I can behave myself poorly.
All right. Well, I think I can tell what Adam's working on right now. He's must be working on Compact Macs and Apple IIcs.
VHS. At least he didn't taste his finger after that. No, I was touching solder. These are not going in my mouth. Not until I wash my hands.
All right, there we go.
So this is going to Australia. Shipping to Australia for this will cost this person $18.24 US. Not bad.
Well,
Could be worse. I mean, it's like a 4-ounce package, so you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, for the C64 Mini, as heavy as the box was. Yes, I will at some point be announcing my next subscriber giveaway, just as soon as I can figure out exactly what I want to give away. Because every idea I've had, I come up with a reason why I think I can find something better. So, I will make an announcement at some point.
Print label.
If you want to make me take action to announce it sooner, then how about share my channel on your social media? Get some more people subscribed.
Yeah!
If you blow up my subscriber count, I'll just be compelled to make up my mind, because
everybody watching right now, go do the thing.
So
I've done the thing twice today, and it was glorious. Wait, hold on. Are we talking about this?
share
Moving
my
on.
social media,
Social media. Okay. Got it.
which I think you have done a couple times today.
Yes. I do my best when I remember to support my fellow producers of awesome content. I don't always remember because I don't always remember jack squat of anything, but I try. Especially this gentleman right here who has been one of my biggest Patreon supporters for like 2 or 3 years now and is nearly single-handedly funding my shop at the moment. So thank you very much, Justin, for your support over the years. It's greatly appreciated.
You are quite welcome, Joe.
He allows me to do things like buy bulk resistors in like rolls of 5,000 and stuff, so that I can have inventory ahead of time instead of chasing the inventory from behind. It's very helpful.
And Joe will let me actually have a live stream someday where I play Planet X3 in Plantronics Color Plus mode. Yay!
Awesome.
I think as a YouTube content creator, I am supposed to have no comment on that.
Yes, yeah.
Because I would be sad if YouTube ever removed the subscribers laterwards.
Hey, 1-Bit Fever Dreams.
Yeah.
I now formally ask you to open 8 different browser windows and send us a comment from all 8 windows so that we can have 8 bits instead of just 1. Because 8 bits are all you need. All my orders are filled.
Yay!
Cool. I just have to put them in boxes.
Oh, okay. Let's try this.
Close.
I guess I'm probably going to have to put solder on one pad so I can hold the chip down and then get the other. Alright. It's always my struggle with surface mount chips. Nope. Alright.
Color is overrated. I desolder 7 video RAM chips out of 8. Don't need them.
Yeah. Well, if I thought that would fix this computer, I would do it, but it doesn't have dedicated video RAM. Yeah, I actually went back on eBay and saw that the 2CX that the same seller had is still available, and then I remembered the other reason why I went for the 2CI. It wasn't just because the 2CI is faster, but the 2CX that they were selling is in pretty rough shape. There we go. Oh, now the chip is crooked.
Crooked?
But at least it'll now stay in place if I solder. Alright.
What was the name of that wristwatch that, like, you, like, put it up to your screen and it would flash at the watch and program the watch?
Was that the Timex, like, Smart Link? LGR did a video on that recently. I don't know why I feel like I'm soldering this on wrong, but... Oh, that's what I'm hearing your label printer. Yeah, Bruce probably would flood it with flux first, and maybe I should, but the thing is, well, I guess now I'm actually using the solder that has flux in it to solder it.
Flux. May the flux be with you.
I guess I'm just bound and determined to not have to run it through the ultrasonic cleaner again, but I probably am going to have to, but maybe I should. And I'm so paranoid I'm going to put these... I'm going to probably reflow those back down. Unfortunately, the other problem is I just have this at such an awkward angle for working because where these chips are, I don't think I win any way I put this board. Although I guess I could try. This would honestly be a little easier this way. The problem is, I think I need to switch to the flux that Bruce uses because I cannot see through this flux. The only way I know where the pad is because I see where the pin is.
Dum, 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 dum.
And I just created a solder bridge.
I would put a bunch of solder on the iron and then just drag across the very ends of the pins. Not up by the chip, but right at the far end, right where the pin touches the pad. And what happens is it'll wick the solder up onto the pins. It's called drag solder. You can just kind of drag across and just go boop, 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 right across them. Yeah, you've got too much solder, but that's okay. You'll figure it out.
I also have an obstructed view of where the pads are.
I'm also not sure what iron tip you're using.
It's the small SMT one.
Okay.
Which is maybe I think I need a bigger tip for drag soldering.
I don't know. I don't want to. It's not a chisel tip. It's like a bullet tip. It's a side conical. It's a cone where the edge of it cut off. I don't know what the technical term is for it. That's the one I use. I use that for literally everything, and it tends to work really well for me.
The chip shifted at some point. I'm going to have to remove it. Alright, let me see if I can just...
Yes, Adam, I'm making snarky comments. Now you know why I was asking about what kind of watch that was.
Okay. Let me let that cool down. Let me switch solder tips so I can try drag soldering. Because I can't do it with that. That tip won't hold enough solder to...
Yeah, even if you don't drag solder, the idea with the flux is that you can put solder on the iron instead of using the flux that's in the solder. So you can put it on the iron, and then you just touch the end of the pin where the pin connects with the pad, the very outside edge, and it'll just go whoop and suck right underneath and solder it down. And you can even just touch each end. You don't have to drag across if you don't want to. You can just go touch, 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 and when it stops working, you put a little more solder in the iron, touch, 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 and you can do each pin individually that way. Also, one of the first things you should do when you're doing an SMT is to solder one corner, then solder an opposite corner to keep the chip in place so that it doesn't move around when you then try to tack the rest of the pins down.
I tried to do that, but I don't think I got the opposing corner down.
Okay.
I think that's the problem, which is now why I'm about to pull the chip back off the board and try again, because it's. I mean, if this was Apple and some of their SMT pads, it would have passed muster, but maybe it's okay. I'm not sure. It's kind of a. Let me go to the. It's kind of one of those that might be fine. It's borderline.
Yeah, it's offset by half a pad there.
Yeah. And it's progressively worse as I move down the chip.
Yeah, I'd be taking that back off there.
Although, honestly, that's some of these factory ones are okay. Well, where are the factory pins that I saw the other day that were just kind of not? Of course, now that I try to find them, there they were. There's some factory pins that. That's the video chip. Look at those factory pins. They are. That's not the best alignment there.
No, it's not. So you're on par. That's good.
I was on par, but I think I can do better than Apple did there. All right, let me reapply some Kapton tape so I don't melt the end of the NuBus slot. But at least this is on the far enough end that I don't need to go too crazy with it. And let me pull this chip off and try again.
Adam has not been able to find a blue CRT for me, but what would happen if you purposely killed the red and green guns on their color CRT and just have blue? Very interesting. It would be all blue, but you would also have to kill the NTSC color burst so that it would think the picture was black and white. So it would show all three guns with the same intensity, so then it would just effectively be blue all the time. Yeah. VHS asks me, speaking of SSDs, have you ever tackled desoldering a 386 SX CPU to replace with a faster one? Just curious. Not that chip specifically, no, but I've done plenty of SMD level stuff like that before, including replacing like 68-pin chips on Mac SEs and things without a problem. So that doesn't sound... The actual soldering point is not a problem. It's whether or not the chip you get can work with the board and be modded, or the board can be modded in a particular way so that that functions correctly.
All right, so the chip is off.
Adam, in theory, you could do that, but you'd have to have the output coming out of whatever would have to be starting as S video, would it not? Maybe. It depends on how the adapter's wired. I don't know. Classic All-in-One Macs take a 9-inch monochrome CRT to answer VHS's question. That's what allowed me to put that in that. A CRT that was never designed to go in that machine.
All right. Got the chip off. I think I get one more try on this.
You're doing that by eye, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have the stands to set my new camera rig up that will allow me to actually move the microscope where I need to move it to actually be able to use it. But this week I'm working on painting the basement. Except right now, obviously I'm slacking on painting the basement right now. But I need to make sure the walls are dry because I've finished prepping them yesterday. And now I just need to make sure they're dry before I apply paint. But I decided I didn't want to put the stands for the camera rig up before I painted because that's just another obstacle I have to contend with. So instead I'm going to paint I'll probably paint this side of the basement first so that I can put the stands up.
Gotcha.
But yes. Well, that is... And I'll probably do some painting tomorrow afternoon. That is assuming I don't decide that I need to retouch up some of the walls, because I changed my process for prepping the walls halfway through, and quite honestly, some of the walls I did earlier, I think I might need to do the new process on, so I may still be prepping walls tomorrow. But luckily they're on the other side of the basement. Alright, so I'm actually, for some strange reason, just deciding to put a new chip on.
It's backwards.
Actually, it's
not. Or is that one inverted from the other two?
This one's inverted from the other two.
Okay. All right.
Because right here's the silkscreen dot for that one, and there's the silkscreen dot.
I see it now. Two. Yep, I got it.
Yeah, it's the backwards one.
So my suggestion would be to put a tiny dot of flux on one corner. Don't worry about getting that laid on there perfectly. Here's what you do. Okay. Put a tiny dot of flux in one corner. Hold the chip with your left hand. Then with your right hand, with your solder that already has, or with your iron that already has a little bit of solder on it, use your left hand to get the chip just arranged, then just tack a corner. That way you're not fiddling around. You don't have to use the tweezers or anything. Just a tiny bit of dot in the corner. Yep. I don't know if you're left-handed or right-handed, but
I'm right-handed.
Okay. So what I would normally do, I use the right hand to hold the iron, the left hand to hold the chip, and I would have put the flux on the opposing corner away from my left hand, so over on the H side. That's fine. Yep, right in there. And so you would use your left hand to get the chip perfectly aligned. And with your iron that already has a little ball of solder on the end of it, just touch that one corner. It'll go right onto the pad, suck it in place and hold it down. And that way you're not trying to keep it aligned and all that BS. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I do need to get it somewhat close, though, first.
Yeah, you got to get it close, and then you can get in there with and just kind of grab it and just sort of this, they teach you, don't put solder on the iron, then take the iron to the joint. Well, SMT is different. That's the way you want to do that in the opposite way. Honestly, I would hold that with my fingers because it gives me more control. If you can get your finger and your forefinger and your thumb in there to hold it exactly where, just for control purposes, and then you can tack it.
Well, unfortunately, I can't see the other side of the chip when I do that. That's kind of why I was trying to use the tweezers, because I could at least...
Okay. If you get the tweezers, use the tweezers to hold the chip across its shortest dimension. Again, so you have the best control over the placement.
Unfortunately, they're not wide enough to do that. They're just wide enough, actually.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
Well...
There you go. And now you've got like superior control to just hold it right in place, right where it needs to be. And if you need to like lean, if you can get the angle right too, sometimes you can like lean your arm down, so you're literally just kind of like using friction to hold it in place. And you just tack that pin, take it away. Cool. And now you got a little bit of a pivot point. So now you can kind of like just sort of, yeah, do the opposite pin, and then you can just like use the tip of the tweezers to just kind of nudge the chip around until it's on there. Then you tack the other side, then you're good. Then you can literally drag solder an entire side at once.
All right, well, I'm going to have to block the camera view to be able to do
Oh,
this.
no! Hat cam!
Hat cam.
Dave is here! Hey, Dave!
There we go. I think I got them tacked.
Good.
Except something doesn't look right.
Okay.
I gotta flip the board so where I can see it. Something doesn't look right. It's a 20-pin chip, and I only see 19 pins.
Uh-oh.
Ah, I bent one of the pins in.
Oh, no.
And I bent it in just far enough that I will not be able to... it's not on the pad at all. Unfortunately, when I grabbed the chip with my tweezers, I guess I didn't realize I bent the pin.
You should be able to, if you're real careful, bend it back. Unless it's tacked down.
No, it's not tacked down, but it's... I don't know what I have that'll actually be able to bend it back.
Oh, okay.
It's bent under.
It's like folded under the chip.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I just untacked that one corner.
Pointy tools are helpful.
There we go. Okay, there we go. I
Yay!
think I got it. Okay.
Adam, you're streaming at 11 a.m.? Who the heck's going to be watching that? Unless it's a weekend.
I'll put the board back in the camera view. Just one moment. Okay. I think I'm tacked down again.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to show you how I do single pin soldering real quick?
Sure.
You think that'll be helpful?
It might be. Because to drag solder, I'll have to change solder tips.
Yeah.
So if I want to drag solder, I need to tack these other two chips down first.
Yeah.
And change tips.
Here, yeah, I'll just show you that. Since you have it tacked, I'll show you the single pin technique. So let me change cameras.
And let me change
Click.
views. So we can all see your technique.
Yeah. So we'll just do a blue SCSI board because it's what I have that'll do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me heat up my iron because it went to sleep. Okay, the pitch on these pins is going to be similar to the pitch of what you're using, so it should be pretty close. So basically what I do is I just, I goop up all the pins. Although you only really need to, if you're doing an SMD, like an actual, like a chip, you only need to like tack the one corner. It just keeps it a little bit cleaner while you're positioning it. So you just get it all positioned, whatnot. Now, if you'll see, I am literally holding this thing with my left forefinger and thumb. Right? I get it all lined up. And then I will take the iron, and I actually put solder on the iron. Now, they always tell you, don't do that because, well, I've got flux on the board. So I'm not worried about burning off the flux off the solder that way. So then I use left hand to get it positioned. And I just literally touch it to the joint, and it sucks right onto the joint. Just like that. And then I do the next joint. Next joint. And if it doesn't suck in there, that means I'm low on solder. So I just add a little bit to the iron. Next joint. Just like that.
One Bit Fever Dream says you got the voice exactly on the how the teacher says don't put solder on the iron.
Don't do that! Yep. And then you just go back across them and reheat them again. Make sure that it really gets in there. In, out, straight in, straight out, straight in, straight out, just like that. That's it. So if you don't have the right tip or the right whatever to do that, it allows you to do that without having to drag across and do the whole blah 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 like that.
Yeah, I'd have to switch tips. So instead, I'm going to just do one pin at a time.
Meanwhile, I might as well go ahead and finish this since I'm sitting here. And it's back a little too far. Oops. There we go.
Oh, well, that was easy. Let me get the other side.
Worked like a champ, didn't it?
It did.
The cool thing about that technique is it gives you a feel for doing that. Once you've done that like 10 or 20 times, 10 or 20 chips, then you can graduate up to doing the drag. The only real benefit to the drag is that it's faster. It just saves you time.
Well, maybe when I buy the hacker station that you can change the tips on the fly.
Yeah.
And
or you can be like me. I have this one like massive fat tip on here. Here, let's get it in there. It's huge. Like there it is.
Yeah.
There it is next to a quarter. It's gigantic. I use that thing for doing like little 0402s and stuff. It doesn't matter. I'll do them all.
Probably this one.
Yeah. It's really about on the SMD stuff is having quality components, good solder, and good flux. Because then the size of the iron doesn't matter. The flux and all the good parts will keep the solder exactly on the joint and will not join them together. You could put a massive ball on the end of that iron and just drag it across. It'll stick where it needs to go. You'll get almost no bridges. Every once in a while you'll get one, but then you just clean the iron off and just drag the ball out and away from the chip. The bridge goes away. Just Computer Museum Blue Scuzzy question. Is the SD card slot the only SMD on there? Yes. That is the only SMD component on there. I have been, and I have in the past, and I am capable of doing this by eye. You can do it by eye as well. As you can see, Justin is doing SMD by eye himself right now. It is absolutely possible. It's a little crunchy, but it's doable.
All right. There, that's a 20-pin component. No magnification.
There you go. It is absolutely possible. Now, I've said before, looking at this, I have soldered resistors that are the size of this joint by eye before. It is entirely possible. It hurts your eyeballs, but it's doable. So don't feel threatened by tiny little components. Right. Just make sure you buy twice as many as you need, because half of them are going to fly across the room and disappear.
Ask Joe how he knows. Actually,
Yes.
we can probably all relate. All right. So there we go. I guess I'll do this one. And yes, I did make sure I grabbed the other 240 because that would be a travesty. Unfortunately, the 244 is also a...
I was going to say, don't put the 244 where the 240 should go.
Yes, because they're both 20-pin chips.
Yes.
All right, let me get that approximately where it should go. Just as a reminder for anyone joining, yes, the two, this chip is opposite the other two. So if you think if it looks like I put one on backwards, it's because one is on backwards.
Adam McGee, will a 2CI boot without the 68882 installed? Good question. From experience, that I can tell you an SE30 will. It'll boot just fine without that installed. So a lot of the 2s have a very similar ROM code base to the SE30, so it wouldn't surprise me if it can.
Maybe what I'll do is put that, because I've got the FPU just sitting on the bench.
You kind of just like shove it back on, see what happens. Yeah.
Actually, I was tempted to put it in the socket of one of my LCs and then make sure it actually works, because I can run a benchmark on it.
Your chip is too far north by a hair. You need to bring it towards you just a little bit more. Right about there. Yep. At least from the screen, that's what it looked like.
Oh, yeah, it probably was. All right.
Yeah. And then the pads create little lands. Sometimes it's hard to get it right on top of it because it wants to slide in between the pads. And yeah. Oops.
Yeah, looks like I just got the solder on the... Actually, I think I was too close to the... There we go.
Yep.
All right.
That looks like it's on there.
Let's get the other opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And that's the other upside of the point solder technique here is that you can do it with almost any tip as long as it's not like some like gargantuan, I'm soldering wires on my car tip. Yeah, it'll work with just about anything. Yep, once you have it aligned, then you just press down on it exactly like you're doing to keep it from moving around. Then you tack it.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
They're on the edge of the pads, but that's better than the...
Yep, as long as they touch point to point, they're not touching the points they don't need to touch, and they're not touching anything underneath the chip.
Yep. I'll go with that.
And as you already said, look at some of the other chips on this board, and the robots did it, and they wasn't any better. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go wash my hands because I was touching solder. I'll be right back.
Ah, yes. And for anyone that sees that I'm wearing gloves and I'm soldering, I do still wash my hands after I take my gloves off, just in case. But at least I can take the gloves off and it can at least go upstairs without getting tacky solder flux all over the door handles.
Oops. Print, blue scuzzy cases, print!
I thought that's what I heard was your 3D printer.
Oh, you hear the
It's like-
random in the background? Yeah, if you look
Yeah.
very, very carefully over my left shoulder, you might see it moving back there. Right underneath the monitor.
Yeah, I could hear the sound of the
Right.
faint sound of the stepper motors.
Right there. Right there.
Yes, I am definitely enjoying the headphones I was able to... I actually had these headphones, it's just I didn't have Bluetooth on this computer.
Mm.
So thanks to the wonderful gifts I got my last stream, I was able
Sweet.
to get a Bluetooth adapter. So
Yeah!
now I'm not running over my headphones cord.
Adam McGee. Joe, can you answer a Blue Scuzzy question? Yes, you might not get the answer you want, but I can try. As long as it's not hyper technical, I don't know how the code works. I just know how they go together. How to configure the images. Vintage VHS. Old Faithful just chugging away. Yep, that's my Ender 3 Pro. I can throw anything at that. It will print for hours and hours on end without complaint or failure. It just works.
Oh. That's actually
little
the
workhorse.
printer I have to put together, which I'll do on stream sometime.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're crude as heck. They're a pain in the butt to get started. But once you figure out how to get all the little... you learn all the little issues of how to, like, how do I level the bed properly every time, and what temperatures I use, and what type of bed surface. And once you figure all those little then it just smooth sailing. You throw images at it, it prints them, it'll sit there and chug them out.
Alright. Make sure I got the chip. Let me make sure that is the...
Yep.
Yes, that is the F244. Just checking to make sure, because there are other chips floating on my desk.
Javier says, I can attest to that. He has pretty much the same printer. He has a slightly newer model of the printer than I do. A little bit fancier, better firmware, but it's pretty much the same printer. Thomas Armstrong, I need a new build plate for my Ender. Thomas, I would highly suggest getting the magnetic removable texture build plate. The adhesion on it is excellent. Javier uses like a glue stick for adhesion. I don't have to on mine. My filament, my stuff just sticks to it. And then when I'm ready to remove it, you take the whole magnetic thing off, just bend it slightly, and the stuff just pops right off. And also, when you're working with reproduction parts for old things, that textured surface has a very similar texture to the textured plastic of the product that you're replacing. So if you play with the nozzle settings and get the nozzle really, really jammed into the bed, you get that, it transfers that awesome texture to your part, and you don't see print lines. So it's a really cool thing. Adam, again, yes, I'm answering you. You can ask me a Blue Scuzzy question. I haven't seen your question yet.
Well, I know I've got a special Blue Scuzzy for this 2CI. Should I ever get it to the point where it actually looks for Scuzzy devices? Because I spared no expense for this one.
The software does the bootloader over ST-Link, but fails when it tries to connect a USB with an invalid DFU suffix error. Good question. Are you doing this on Windows, Adam?
Actually, that I seemingly remember something about that error in the Blue Scuzzy
Yes.
documentation.
There's a specific... Sometimes the USB drivers in Windows do not install correctly, and you have to use a little tool to get it to install. You're doing it on a Mac. Can't help you, sir. I don't do that on a Mac, so I don't know the process to do that. Is Tom Barber in the shop? Is he still in the chat, or did he leave? because I believe he programs them with a Mac.
I can tell you that if you try to program a Blue SCSI and you get the message saying that it found your ST-Link, but then it immediately says can't connect a device or something really generic, and it like seems like it falls through the batch script, pull the wires off of your ST-Link and make sure you didn't push one of the pins in. They are...
Oh, yeah. These little things, the pins here on this side are garbage. And also, look, the entire outer shell just comes off. It just slides off. These pins right here just sometimes aren't connected. And yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually opened it up and looked, and at first I thought I had pushed the pin in because it was soldered so badly it just ripped the pad. But once I got it under the microscope, I realized that no, I didn't rip the pad because the solder was only on the pin. So it just pushed. But the thing is, I tried to solder it twice or 3 times. I tried to fix it because I was like, I want to update my Blue SCSIs now. I'm in update mode.
Just yell at it real loud.
I could have probably yelled the binary code at the Blue SCSI and had more.
110 work. Anyway, sorry, I'm a nerd. Adam says, I can update the firmware of the ST-Link, but USB still doesn't work. After you've done the ST-Link, you need to completely unplug the device from the ST-Link, move the jumper back to where it was, put the other jumper over, hold the reset button down while you plug it into USB, wait about 5 seconds for your computer to recognize the device is there, then let go of the reset button, then wait 5 seconds again, then try to continue with the USB. That would be my suggestion.
Ah, so that's why there's 2 boot jumpers on the blue pill.
Yes. One of them controls the bootloader for the ST-Link side, and the other controls the bootloader for the USB side.
So I actually ordered another... I ordered a different ST-Link that will probably be the same ST-Link yesterday, but I ordered a multi-pack. So hopefully one of them will work. And plus the cool thing is I found a multi-pack that had some blue pills with it.
So if one's not dead, they'll all be dead.
Yeah. So Erica was reminding me that he was because I was getting Eric and I were chatting on Discord to try to figure out what was going on because it wasn't updating. And anyways, she's like, so I found a multi-pack that had the blue pill that is the same microcontroller, or it's supposedly the same microcontrollers on the Blue SCSI. So I could actually have some boards built and build a few more Blue SCSIs.
There you go.
So
VHS is asking, anyone have a make model suggestion for a guy who's never used a 3D printer? Make and model Ender 3. Get any of the Ender 3, especially the new Ender 3 V2. Incredibly inexpensive, super reliable, relatively easy to set up. There's still a learning curve because it's still a very hobbyist product to put together, but they just work. Lots of community support out there, so yeah, that would be my suggestion. You said producing large parts. Define large. Most 3D printers you can get cannot really print things larger than maybe 200 millimeters on the side. So
I want to 3D print
210 by 210 by 250, like a cube. So
I can't afford a real Tesla. I want to 3D print a Tesla.
Yeah, there you go.
One chunk at a time.
Is that the?
This is the special Blue SCSI I got for this computer. If I can get it to initialize SCSI, this is the F4 Blue SCSI from Tech by Androda. So
Gotcha.
This one has the faster microcontroller.
Yes.
So 2CI, if you'll just cooperate with the program, I got something nice for you.
Somewhere around 300 millimeter. Yeah. When you start to get above that 200 to 10 millimeter print size, you start getting into the more expensive professional units, in my experience. The trick is Creality sells them, but the 2 brands I would suggest would be Creality or Prusa, however he pronounces it. They're, in my opinion, the best makes out there. Little interesting hit and tidbit for you, not to like rain on your parade there, Justin, but there are some new updates that may or may not be coming out for the generic F1 Blue SCSIs that basically make all the other SCSI devices slow in comparison. Some cool development is going on. So your F4 may not actually be that speedy anymore.
That's my luck.
But it's okay. I mean, the F4 is still a great product.
Well, if the mainline Blue SCSIs get faster than the F4, then, well,
here's the side. You have to compare it because the code is very similar between the two units. So anything that makes the F1 faster makes the F4 faster as well, because the F4 is faster just because it's a faster chip.
Oh,
so, yeah. It's really all I can say about it. There's lots of cool stuff. The issue is right now is those changes are in a very alpha state right now. And it could like break timing, SCSI timing and stuff. So I can't really say more than that. But if it does end up being a case, oh my gosh, it's going to be like super deliciousness. So keep your eyes open.
All right. So if anyone wondered what I just did,
I've given you all the info. I can't tell you benchmark numbers or anything like that because it's all unofficial. All I can tell you is that development continues and Eric Helgeson is working his absolute hiney off.
I can give you benchmark numbers, but I can't tell you what they're benchmarking. 42. Yeah. There you go. There's a benchmark number for you. It's not the Blue SCSI benchmark, but it's a benchmark number for something.
Adam! He yelled my name.
I'm just trying to dry some of this isopropyl alcohol off the board before I power it up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that doesn't conduct electricity. You're fine.
Yeah. I don't want to find out I have one of those space-time continuum issues where the parallel universe where isopropyl alcohol is extremely conductive is conducting onto my workbench. It's probably fine.
Thanks for the jumper reminder, however. My USB cable was charge only. Every single time. Every time. All charge-only USB cables need to be thrown out. Go away.
Unless you have one in your travel bag for airports.
Well, yeah, so that you can use it for, like, you can charge with any generic USB plug and not worry about it, like, trying to hijack your device. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But maybe we need to, like, mark them with bright yellow paint.
Yeah.
It's like, charge only!
Yes, they need to be kind of like crossover cables or like orange or usually. Yes. Charge only cables should be yellow and that should be the only color you can get them in. And no other USB cables should be yellow. And sorry if you prefer yellow USB cables because yellow is your favorite color. One of the colors has to give up its uniqueness for charge only cables.
Yes. I'm going to throw it away. Don't throw it away, Adam. Keep it. Cut the ends off of it, and then use it for repairing something, or just label it so you know it's charge only. Just get yourself a piece of gaffer's tape like this, and a paint pen, and just mark it charge or charge only, and just stick it in the pile somewhere. It's a lowly bodge wire now. Yes.
Oh, that would explain why I heard no happiness. Okay,
Make all of the connectors on charge-only cables see-through. Yes. USB cable. See, here. All USB cables that are actually data should have the universal USB symbol on it, and if it's charge-only, it should have just a lightning bolt on it. The Blue SCSI updater says happy scuzzing at the end. Yes. Yes, it does.
Well, if only I can get that far, but soon. Actually, I think I'll get my ST-Links tomorrow. So hopefully I will be able to update all of my F1 blue or mainline blue scuzzies.
In future, no one will ever need to use the ST-Link again because they all go out now with USB firmware pre-programmed. A USB with lightning bolt is already taken by Thunderbolt. Well, Apple sucks, so...
Yeah. Okay.
Are we ready?
I actually have it powered on with the NuBus, or the NuBus video card, and I still have no video image.
Did we at least get a chime?
We did get a chime.
Huh?
I did not make it worse. We did get a chime.
Okay. Well, all right. Well.
So it looks like, I guess the next thing that I'll do, and I think I'm not going to do it on stream because it'd take too long. So I've got the FPU here that I pulled off the board last time. I think the pins are clean enough. I'll go later tonight. I'll put this in one of my LCs, and the LC is going to do some coprocessor test duties. So
cool.
I'll make sure the LC, because I've got FPUs in both my LCs, so I know they boot with an FPU. So if they boot with this one, and I can successfully run the FPU benchmark,
yep,
then I know this one's good, and I'll put it back on the board.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Basically, we just wanted to double check that this wasn't bad and causing it not
causing problems. Yeah.
So I'll do that off stream because it will be really boring, but necessary because at least I can test it because it's an 882 and it's 25 megahertz. The LCs are only 16. And also, I have been purposely doing all this testing without this card in because this is my...
Eliminate all the variables, exactly.
This is my cache card that I really would like to be using, but at the moment it'd probably just make the computer crash faster because...
It crashes faster because it caches faster.
Yeah, unfortunately I got my drumsticks upstairs, so I can't give you a rim shot there. Yeah. So, but at least I didn't make it worse by replacing those bus transceivers.
This is becoming your 640 AV or your 840 AV.
Yes, it is. It is very much. So, it looks like...
Sorry.
So I'm pretty sure these chips that I installed for the NuBus that do the ID are good because I bought them from Mouser. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Mouser chips.
So at least I now know those are most likely good. They may have not been the problem, although one of them was green and crunchy, and I'd replaced it with a UT sourced one that I have no idea if it works or not. So at least now I know I've got Mouser sourced chips there. So I guess I'll test the FPU. If it works, I'll put it back on the board. And then probably I'll have to set this board aside until next week when I am hoping that I will have another YouTuber join me for more troubleshooting fun. And who knows? Yeah, I'm not going to say which YouTuber it is just yet. I'll wait until I have a date.
It's a secret to everybody.
It is a secret to everybody.
Including the YouTuber in question. They don't know yet they're going to be on.
Actually, they do know.
No, I'm just being funny.
Yeah, I did hear back from them, Joe. So I do know that they're not available till next week. So hopefully next week our schedules will align and we'll have more troubleshooting fun on the 2CI. And I believe they have a 2CI or a 2CX that they need to work on that's causing them trouble. So we will have a 2CI, 2CX misery party.
Yeah!
Although hopefully we'll... Yeah, hopefully we'll both be able to get ours working. That would be great.
Want to actually go to that party?
Oh, it'll be a load of fun. So I will make sure they know that if they did see the fact that I streamed tonight, I will make sure they know that, spoiler alert, we're still on for next week. I've ruled out a few things, but that's about all I did. So
all you can do.
All I can do. I mean, now I really would, if I had another NuBus Mac, I really would like to test
that card
both of these cards.
Yeah.
And it's just, I also need to try to figure out why this one oscilloscope probe seemingly stopped working, but oh well. So anyways, I think that's probably a good place to draw the stream to a close before I get into too much more trouble tonight. So I guess if anyone has any last questions, well, I'll hold a moment just to make sure that we've answered everybody's questions in the chat. Adam has a 2CI that needs to work again. Well, maybe if... well, maybe I might have more than one famous YouTuber if I can play my cards right.
Fix all the 2CIs!
Fix all the 2CIs stream. All right.
Yes, VHS, I saw your email.
And
I haven't read it yet.
And I haven't checked my email yet, VHS, but I'm sure it's there. And if it's not, I will tell my email server that you're a friend so that it doesn't mark your email as spam. But I will look for your email as well.
Spam, 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 spam.
I know. My email server is funny that way. It like will be fine and then all of a sudden randomly decide to start marking emails from someone as spam. So, and they're not necessarily spam. So, whatever, email server. Yeah. Well, Adam, we have to, in order to get to 60, you have to be at 59. So, keep going. You'll get there. So, anyways, I guess with that, I think I'm going to go to the... oh, wait a minute. There we go. Oh,
No.
And I'll go here. So there we go. Let me move over. Yeah. Oh, no. Ron owns your shelf there. Oh, that's the googly eye one. So anyways, if you like the stream, press that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, well, what are you waiting for?
Smash like, hit subscribe. Hit the bell, too, so you know when these things come out.
Yeah.
Justin's always a laugh riot and always does great work, so.
And Joe's great to have on the stream. He's always a load of fun.
I try.
Yes, and he got my Emerson working, so that's great. I'm glad we were able to get a good update on that, and I guess at least some of the way through troubleshooting this 2CI. So anyways, I'd like to ask everyone to have a good evening. Hope to see you next time, and take care. And with that, I'm going to wave while I try to find the button to press.